ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be? Well, me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to the Command Post Game Live. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. I, of course, am your Commander-in-Chief, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. So, that did not go as planned. That's a really disappointing loss. It's everything that we said that we couldn't do. We knew we were the better team. We said this, but we said if you want to give a lesser opponent a chance to beat you, the way to do that is to turn football over. Make mistakes. Drop the football. McNichols had a drop on the third down that would have given you a chance to get into field goal range. Maybe even get the first down like he did on that crucial third down late in the game. You can't miss field goals. Matt Gay up to his normal tricks. For every make, there's going to be a miss in there somewhere. And just like the weeks previous when he missed, they're not going to do anything about it. Why? Because he missed from 48, or he missed from 50, then he made a 53-yarder. So they're going to tell themselves, we're good here. Nothing to see here, right? In a game that you lose by 1 point, the 50-yard field goal that he missed isn't a problem. Don't worry about it. We're good. So nothing's going to get done there, right? You can't have mistakes. Can't have mistakes. You got the Bears pinned against their own end zone, and you have an illegal contact. I don't even know who the hell it's on. It doesn't matter. It would have been 3rd and long, and they were awful on third downs tonight. You're probably going to get off the field, and you're probably going to get the football with great field position instead. You give up a penalty, and they end up scoring points on that drive. Can't miss tackles. A simple dump down to DeAndre Swift, a.k.a. the Commander Killer. Every time we see DeAndre Swift, he kicks our ass. And we have no answer for him. Every time, if he played us every week, he'd be the best running back in football. Because we can't stop him. We don't have an answer. When he was in Philadelphia, he used to kick our ass. When he was in Detroit, he kicks our ass. And now that he's a Bear, the last 2 years, he's kicked our ass. We can't stop DeAndre Swift no matter what uniform he's wearing. Just make the tackle. Nope, miss the tackle. Marshawn Lattimore is loafing because he thinks that Quan Martin's going to make the tackle, so he lets up on the play, only to realize Swift's about to break this tackle, and now he tries to go and catch him, and it's too late. It's a touchdown. Bad things happen when you don't hustle to the football. Good things happen when you do run to the football. That's the nature of the beast. Hey, how about creating a turnover defense? How about doing that? That'd be nice, wouldn't it be? Mikey, you can't ask for it to be any better in your damn hands. Catch the goddamn football. Nope. That turned into Bears points. Would have been nice to erase a field goal off the scoreboard. Instead, they get a field goal on that possession. Catch the damn ball. We don't like turnovers. We don't like nice things, though. We know that. Quan Martin has an opportunity. Caleb's throwing a football into double coverage. 2 plays later, you get the DeAndre Swift touchdown, and it's a totally different ball game. If Quan just picks the bitch off, we're not having this discussion. But again, don't ask this defense to do anything out of the ordinary. If it's right there in their face, 3rd and 15, yeah, they can get a stop. They can do that. But don't ask them to stop the defense, the offense on 3rd and 4. Don't ask them for that. I need an answer from Joe Witt in the most critical, crucial 3rd down of the game. 3rd and 4, after the 2-minute warning. You come out in some of the softest zone coverage we've seen all night. Rushing 4 hadn't gotten to Caleb at all tonight because Dorrance Armstrong tried to fight through a hamstring, but he couldn't. So now you're reduced to having Preston Smith and Jacob Martin on the field for pretty much the entire damn night with Von Miller, who's 97 years old. You want to know why you couldn't stop the run on the edges tonight? There's no resistance because Preston Smith isn't going to stop the run. And there's no Dorrance Armstrong to save you. There's no one that can win one-on-one and get to the quarterback. The one sack we had came from the one guy that wasn't on the field, and that's Dorrance Armstrong. So you needed the pressure. And what do? You drop 7 into soft zone coverage, and all Colston Loveland does is run to the sticks and sit down. It couldn't have been any easier. But that's Joe Witt Jr. So we apologize one week, and then we come back the next week, and we're saying the same thing. And that's the frustrating part about this team, is that the lack of consistency is the only consistency that we've seen from this team this season. The lack of consistency continues to be our undoing. We don't create turnovers. That's consistent. We don't make big plays. That's consistent. Not on the defensive side of the football. We don't get critical stops. That's consistent. All we needed was one stop. And you could have picked any time to get it. And to their credit, I have to give them credit where credit is due. They needed the Bears' help. But they got the one stop. Up 24-22. They got the one stop to get the ball back to the offense, to put the offense in a position to put the game away. So I have to give the defense at least credit for that. But there were other instances where they could have gotten big stops. This game didn't have to be this close. Quan Martin could have picked the football off, and it could have been 24-16, and the game would have been done because the Bears were done. Caleb Williams was done. But you didn't get it. And then you give up the easy check down for a touchdown, and we got ourselves a ball game again. Then the offense turns it over. We're going to get to the offense and all of the damn mistakes they made tonight because they cost us the game. As much as everybody wants to blame the defense, that's the easy punching bag. No, we got to talk about the offense because they pissed this game away. It was their fault we lost tonight. It'd be nice if every time we turned the ball over, we didn't have to give up points. All these turnovers weren't surrendered right in, field goal or touchdown range. There could have been resistance put up, but we don't do that. Now, do we? That last fumble was brutal. I mean, it was brutal because you knew none of us had confidence that the defense was getting another stop. They used up their one stop to get the offense back the ball, to give them a chance to run it out. And all they had to do was execute a damn play, a 3rd and 1, and we couldn't even do that shit right. The defense had a chance to get a stop, and they couldn't do it. And then you say, well, at least make it a long field goal attempt. They've got a skittish kicker. And then you just give a big run off the right side after big run off the right side after big run off the right side to make sure that it's a chip shot field goal. Again, the most disappointing thing tonight was the turnovers. The second most disappointing thing was not taking the ball away because there were opportunities. Mikey Samer still dropped the pick. Frankie Louvu dropped the pick. At least Frankie's was on a 4th down, so it didn't come with any penalty for points. Mikey's did. That was an opportunity to erase points off the scoreboard, and he didn't do it. The next biggest disappointment was the inability to stop the Bears, who had been a subpar rush offense. Forget about us not running the football effectively, because when it's all said and done, Jayden's numbers factor into the run game, and we were fine in that department. Could it have been better? Yeah, it could have been better. But we were ultimately fine there. The inability to stop a team that had struggled to run the football, that's the thing that should have you worried moving forward. Because if I'm playing the Commanders, and I've said this for 2 years now, I'm not running up the middle for what? That's where their strength is. That's where you'll find Daron Payne and Javon Kinlaw. Why would I do that? Especially if Dorrance Armstrong's going to be out, which I've got to assume now. Dorrance Armstrong's going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run the football on the perimeter because at the end of the day, no Jordan McGee this week. After playing a ton last week, the man couldn't get on the field, and we got our asses reamed on the edge. And if not for a drop by Olamide Zaccheaus, Bobby Wagner would have gotten cooked in man coverage again. But yet we can't get 58 on the field. But forget about all of that. They ran the ball down our throats tonight. That looked like last year's run defense. That was the most disappointing part about tonight, other than the fact that we couldn't take it away and we gave it away. But let's go to the most disappointing thing tonight. The thing that we talked about all week, which is if you're going to beat a team that's better than you, let's start fast. Well, this team is incapable of starting fast for whatever reason. But that doesn't seem to be a problem because usually we start slow, but we erase the deficit. We erase the deficit. We give ourselves a chance. We took the lead. We were up 8. So despite trailing 13-0, that didn't matter. We were up 24-16 at one point. So the slow start, yeah, it sucks. I'm sick of that shit. Sick of it. But that, again, that's not why we lost this game. Why we lost this game is the age-old tale of if you want to give a team that is lesser than you, that you are better than, a chance to beat you, you have to play down to their level. The fastest and most easy way to play down to the level of your opponent is to turn the football over. And what did we do tonight? We turned it over and over and over and over again. And I've said this now for the last 2 years, that when we lose most games, now DQ and company have lost 8 total games in 2 seasons. 5 last year, 3 this year, not counting the postseason. If you're just talking about regular season contests, they're now 15-8 overall. And in those 8 losses, 2 of them this year, 3 of them last year in the regular season, were games where you self-destructed. You turned the ball over. You didn't get any turnovers in return, and you lost the football game for yourself. You made mistakes against a team that you should have beaten. Last year, we did it against Pittsburgh. Last year, we did it against Philadelphia. Is not a team we should have beaten, but you made mistakes. You turned the football over in that game, and you didn't do enough, and you didn't take the ball away. You had opportunities, and you didn't get it done. You beat yourself in that game against Philadelphia the first time. You beat yourself against the Steelers. You beat yourself against Dallas last year during that 3-game losing streak. Those were games that we felt like we beat ourselves. We outplayed the opponent, but we beat ourselves. Last year, the only 2 games we lost were they just were better than us. Tampa and Baltimore. This year, you lost the game against Atlanta because you beat yourself. Couldn't get stops. You threw a bad interception that took points off the scoreboard. You didn't do the things that winning teams do, that good teams do. What did you do in this game? Same thing. Turnovers. This time on a much larger scale. 3 back-breaking turnovers. And even with the 2 that you had, if you don't turn it over a 3rd time, you're probably going to win this game. You're probably going to win this game. Instead, you turn the football over again. And Jayden was the culprit of 2 of them. We got to talk about it. For as good as he was tonight, and he was really good tonight. 3 touchdown passes, another 50-some-odd yards rushing, made a lot of right decisions, was extremely accurate with the football. For as good as he was, he cost us the game tonight. He did. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. Now, we're not in the game without him, so there's a give and take. But he cost us the game tonight. That interception on the opening possession, don't ask me what he was doing. Don't ask me what he was doing there. If he's going to throw that, he's got to throw it sooner. Can't throw that one late. That took points off the board. That's a bad play. We're not accustomed to seeing him do that, but it's going to happen. Did you think he was going to throw no interceptions this year? Nah, I didn't think so. I'm not tripping about that. Shit happens, right? That one I can live with. Bill, for as much as we love him, that's 2 weeks in a row he's put the ball on the carpet. He's going to start to garner a reputation as a guy that will fumble. Teams are going to start actively looking to get the football out from him. That's going to become a thing if you can't hold on to it. I don't care how talented you are. If you're going to fumble the ball, it's going to be hard for you to stay on the field. That one was kind of sort of a weird, funky play. He kind of spins away, and as he turns, right, there's a defender there, and he just happens to put his arm on the football. Like it wasn't even a real punch. He just was loose because he was turning away from contact, and the ball was away from his body. Doesn't matter how it happened. Last week, while he gets beat, he's not ready for contact, and he falls. It doesn't matter how it happens. It happened. And for the second week in a row, you put the ball on the carpet, and we didn't get it back. How about you dive on the ball, Andrew Wiley, not try to squat on the ball? How about you dive sideways to protect the ball away from a defender and cover it up instead of trying to fall on it in a doggy style position? What are you doing, guy? What kind of shit is that? Anyway, that's a problem now. It's 2 weeks in a row. Defense didn't bail you out this time like they did last week. And then the backbreaker of all backbreakers, Jayden Daniels, and it got wet. And of course, somebody had said something to me like yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. They were like, man, it's going to be inclement weather. Is that going to affect the game? And I'm like, yeah, no, it's football. We'll be fine. And when you know it, it hadn't rained all game. It stopped like right as game time got underway. And then that slow mist and the wind started picking up right as we got to the mid portion of the fourth quarter. And I'm like, I don't like this. But that doesn't matter. Jayden has to understand that at some point, you just got to live to fight another day. I would have much rather in that situation, he would have just tried to keep the ball himself. Or if he was going to fumble it, you just fall on it. He still tried to make a handoff. He never had that football. He never caught that football clean. It never got the bill. That's on Jayden. That's on Jayden. That ball never can be fumbled there. In that situation, you eat that. I know it's 3rd and 1, and it's going to suck falling on the ball there, and it's going to be 4th and 6, and we got a punt. But guess what? I'd rather them punt the football and force Caleb Williams to have to drive the length of the field to get in the field goal range than to give them the damn football at basically midfield where they just got to get a couple of first downs to get in the field goal range. You cannot do that in that critical situation of the game. You cannot do that. That is when laser-like focus is required. And he took for granted catching that football and handing it to Bill, and it cost us. In my mind, I'm like, why don't we just get under center, bro? It's wet outside, but that's not what we do. So you can't ask a Tiger to change his stripes because it's a critical situation, and all of a sudden now you want to get under center. That's not who we are. It's not how we run the football. It's just not how we get down. So it is upset as I was watching that play unfold and thinking to myself, why can't we just get under center? Why is that even necessary? That's just not who we are. He catches that ball cleanly. He hands it to Bill. He gets the first down. We're not even having this conversation. But he did it. This is so stupid that we're even here, that we're talking about this. We just needed to win the game. For as sloppy as it was, for as dumb of stupid shit that we were doing, you just needed to win the game, man. Just fine. And we were 3 minutes away from doing that. We should be 4-2. We could be 5-1, but we're 3-3. You are what your record says you are. We're a middle of the pack, ordinary, regular ass NFL team at 3-3. There's nothing special about us. There's nothing that we do that stands out. At this rate, we'll be 9-8 this season. If we can't win more than one game at a time, then we'll be 9-8. If we keep up on this track that we're on, win one, lose one, win one, we'll be 9-8. I don't know if that's good enough to get you in the postseason or not. You're not winning the division at 9-8. I can assure you of that. But at some point, When do you finally say enough's enough? When do you stop beating yourself and start beating the opponent? We leave this game with more questions than answers. This is not the time for this. Need I remind you that you have a date with Dallas. And for all of you that think, oh, we'll just bounce back next week against Dallas. Bullshit. I'm more terrified of that game than any other game in the division. At Dallas has been our kryptonite, especially with Dak Prescott healthy and playing some of the best football he's played in his career. You really think this defense is going to stop him from doing whatever the hell he wants to do? You really think this offense is just all of a sudden magically going to do what everybody else is doing to Dallas's offense? Bullshit. We're going to struggle to run the ball. We're not going to look like ourselves on offense. We're going to struggle to score because that's the shit that we do. We play down to a level of a competition that we're playing against, especially when it's Dallas. You needed to win this game to build up the confidence that you needed to have to go into that game and beat Dallas. Now, I don't know what the hell's going to happen next week. But then after that, you got Kansas City on the road. And then after that, you got Seattle at home. And then after that, you got Detroit. You needed to win tonight. Instead, we're talking about a 3-3 football team. Now we got questions, more questions than answers. We had a lot less questions coming into this game. Now we have a lot more questions and a lot less answers. Can we even stop the run now? Is that a thing? Is Dorrance Armstrong going to be healthy? Are we going to be able to get to the quarterback without blitzing? I don't know. I don't know. It's like you plug one dike and then another leak springs from somewhere else. So you stick both your fingers in there and then there's another leak somewhere else. And it's like, what do we do? Right? Hey, on the bright side, Luke McCaffrey catches another touchdown. Jalen Lane has a big play. The young boys continue to step up. It wasn't all doom and gloom tonight. We saw some positives. Zach Ertz came back to life. We saw some positives. But as they usually are, they're on the offensive side of football. There's no revelations on the defense. There's nobody stepping up on the defensive side that you get excited about except for Trey Amos that you say, hey, this is a part that we can take moving forward. And I'm still a big Mikey Sainristil fan. Still a big Mikey Sainristil fan. But he had a chance to make a play tonight, and he didn't. The ball always seems to find three guys on defense when it comes to interceptions. Frankie, and he can't catch. Mikey, and, usually he catches it, but he didn't catch it tonight. And he had one earlier this season that he didn't catch. And Quan. And, Quan really can't catch, if we're being honest. It's got to, hit Quan in his body so he can body catch it. He can't really catch. So, those are the only three guys that the ball finds. Quan, Mikey, and Oos. And Oos can't catch. And Quan really can't catch either. So, there it is. We are what we are. We have what we have. What are we going to do? Here's the thing. We aren't a bad football team. Let's start there. I'd be more worried about the future if we were a bad football team. Here's what we're not, though. We're not a good football team. Because good football teams don't beat themselves. Good football teams find ways to beat teams they're supposed to beat. So we're not a good football team, but we're not a bad football team. Here's another good thing. There's time to fix. There's still 11 games. This is not the end of the world. I know I'm going to get to the comment section and it's going to be doom and gloom. The sky is falling. People are going to be jumping off the cliff just like you were 2 weeks ago. I'm not here to catch you tonight. I'm not here to catch anyone tonight. But I will just tell you, there's plenty of football to fix what ails this team. Because we don't force turnovers. We know this to be a truth. And that's okay. It sucks because it makes life so much harder on this team because we don't generate turnovers. But you can still win games if you don't turn it over. If you don't turn it over, you can still win the game. We went from a team in the first 3 weeks that didn't turn the football over. So, hey, we weren't forcing any turnovers, but we weren't turning it over either. We went from a team the first 3 weeks that took care of the football, so you're going to give yourself a chance. And we were 2-1 in that stretch, to a team the last 3 weeks that has turned it over at least once in every single one of those games, and they have been costly turnovers against Atlanta and the 3 tonight. I believe the Bears scored 13 of their 25 points off of turnovers tonight. Then you had 2 opportunities to take it away that would have taken 10 points off the scoreboard, or 9, Bear points off the scoreboard. The DeAndre Swift catch and run for the touchdown doesn't happen if Quan catches the interception that he should have had. And then the field goal that they got to make it 16 wouldn't have happened if Mikey could catch. So there were opportunities, but we don't force turnovers. At least take care of the damn ball. The Jayden pick took at least 3 points off the scoreboard. And the Bill fumble was a promising drive that led to Bear points. And then the Jayden fumble led to the game-winning touchdown, field goal, walk-off field goal. So if you just take care of the ball, we'll have a shot. But I can't guarantee you that this team is going to take care of the football. I can't guarantee you that. And in there lies the problem, is I can't tell you that this team's going to get out of its own way. Dallas is another winnable game against a team that you're better than. You're better than the Cowboys, but you were better than the Bears tonight, and you didn't get it done. So who's to say that you don't go to Dallas and do the same dumb shit you did against Dallas last year when you lost to Cooper Rush? Who's to say that we don't go wet the bed and turn the shit over 3 or 4 times like we did last year against Dallas? Who's to say that that shit doesn't happen next week? I don't know. I wish I could tell you, but that's what happens. These are the questions you start asking yourself when you're not a good team or you're not a bad team. You're a part of the NFL middle class. Are we upper middle class? Are we lower middle class? I thought we were in the upper crust. You know, I thought we were a part of the haves. There's the haves, the have-nots, and then the middle class. And there are a bunch of teams in the middle class. And I thought we were at the point now where here was the question we were asking ourselves in year 2 with DQ, AP, Cliff, Joe Witt Jr., and Jayden. This is the question I thought we were asking ourselves. Okay, we got the beating teams that you're supposed to beat thing down pat. We got that. We did that last year. We blew those teams out. We blew out the Raiders earlier this season. You know, thought we were going to beat the Falcons, thought we were going to beat the Bears. We got that. We got that. Can we beat the teams that we think we're on an even playing field with, or do we think might be better than us? Can we start to win some of those games? You're not going to win all of those games. The answer was no. We lost to the Packers, and it didn't feel close. So you're like, okay, we'll get more opportunities at that this year. A lot of good teams on the schedule. So then you go and beat the Chargers, and you're like, that's a good one. That's a team we thought we were kind of right here with. That felt good. Now let's exercise that and flex that muscle of, hey, we're up here, and the Bears are down here. Let's show that we're in a class that they aren't in, right? We're in the upper tier, right? We're in the upper crust. They're in the middle class. Let's make sure we separate ourselves. We didn't. We showed that we're just right there in the middle class with the Bears. They're at 3-2. We're in 3-3. We're right there in the middle class, jumbled up with a bunch of other 3-3 football teams that haven't found their way yet. We're no different than pick your favorite 3-3 team right now. We're not the Chiefs. They're going to ascend. Okay. They've made to Super Bowl 5 out of 6 years. We're not them. So don't pick them. Pick another 3-3 team that's inconsistent as hell. That's us. You can find that team somewhere in the mix. But that's us. All right. This one stings. But back to the drawing board, back to 500, back to talking about consistency and trying to find it. All the same shit that we were talking about 2 weeks ago. We just hit the reset button. We do this every other week, right? When we were 1-1, it was doom and gloom. Oh my God, we suck. Then you beat up on the Raiders and everything's good again. Now let's build some consistency. Let's beat the Atlanta Falcons. You lose that game. Oh my God, the sky's falling. You're back to 500. What are we going to do? Then you find a way to go on the road and beat the Chargers. Jayden Daniels comes back. He saves us. Oh yeah, we got our demon back. We're good. Let's go beat the damn Bears and let's get over, 500 by 2 games. Let's build some consistency and let's get on a run. And then you do the same shit you did against Atlanta. You're back to 500 again, and we're asking the same questions that we were asking after week 3 or after week 2. You're asking the same questions you were asking after week 4. Now you're asking the same damn questions again after week 6. It's this reoccurring cycle. Ain't shit changed. Nothing has changed. And that sucks. Anyhow, here is the good news. Lots of football left. Lots and lots and lots of football left. And I still believe in this team. Certain aspects of it, at least. The injuries are starting to become a problem. But again, as I say, a lot of teams are dealing with injuries. We're no different. We're not special. Figure the shit out. And when you got 5, you got a shot every week. And I contend that 5 gives us a chance to win every week, just like it gave us a chance to undo a 13-point deficit tonight. But it just didn't go our way. So next week, you come back to the drawing board. You figure it out. It's a quick week, quick turnaround. You try to, create distance between us and Dallas. You had a chance to do it tonight, and you failed. So now you look to see if you can get it done next week against Dallas. But yeah, this one stings, bro. Not even gonna hold you. This one stings. All right. So we'll get to sleeper real quick. I don't even feel like doing this shit, to be honest with you, but let's get to the skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So let's just jump into the Sleeper app, man. And I'll take a look at some of the picks that I made tonight. So the Commanders game went sideways. DJ Moore did what I thought he was going to do. Ertz did what I thought he was going to do. Ertz caught the touchdown. He had over 3.5 catches. I knew I said this was the Ertz type of game. Debo looked like the heel really bothered him. He looked like he wasn't a part of the game plan. God forbid that we got to throw the ball to Chris Moore this many times. Now, let me say, Chris Moore made some plays, caught a touchdown pass. He felt like the go-to guy early in this game. That is not a good thing. All right. But then on the 3rd down, when we threw it to him right through his damn hands, typical Chris Moore shit, right? Which is why you can't trust him. But when Debo's nursing an injury, you're already down Noah and Terry. You got to lean on what you got. And so Debo looked like he didn't practice all week and they didn't game plan for him to be in the game or something, because clearly there was no, real concerted effort to get him involved. Usually first possession of the game or second possession, no later than that, you get a Debo handoff or some kind of play to get Debo involved. And there just wasn't. Like, Debo was a non-factor tonight. He had 14 total yards, 1 carry, -1 yards, 4 catches, 15 yards. He was a non-factor tonight. Lamine Zaccheaus had a drop. So he missed the 3 catches that I thought he would get. I'm glad he had a drop, because if he caught that one on Bobby Wagner, at a bare minimum, he would have gotten the 1st down, right? Bill didn't score. We got down there one time where he could have scored. We ended up throwing the touchdown. Jayden threw the touchdown to Zach Ertz, but that was really the only opportunity that he had to get in the end zone. We really didn't get like super close to the end zone like we normally do. Jayden threw the deep touchdown to Moore. Jayden threw the touchdown to Luke McCaffrey. And then that's the one that Jalen Lane caught, got us down there. And Bill had a chance to try to bounce it outside, but the Bears were waiting on it. And then he threw the touchdown to Ertz. So he never got in the end zone. And he just fell short of the rush yards on the night. But forget about that. I almost, like always, right? The Bills game. There was another game tonight. Bills fall to the Atlanta Falcons tonight, 24-14. I cooked up a little, sheet for the Bills game. Josh Palmer started off the game quickly, had 2 catches, got hurt, but got that. James Cook, I thought he would have at least 17 carries. He had 17 carries. Josh Allen thought he would have at least 34 rush yards. He had 42. James Cook thought he would run on this Falcons defense because we had success running against them. He did, 87 yards rushing. Bijan Robinson thought he would have at least 33 yards receiving. He had 68. Bijan Robinson thought he would have an anytime touchdown because he's one of those guys that finds pay dirt. What did he do? Found pay dirt. James Cook. Curtis Samuel didn't play, so that was perfect. Took him off of my ticket, and all I needed was a James Cook touchdown. That's it. It's always something, man. I tell you, boy. $700, almost $800 down the drain because James Cook couldn't find the end zone. Just my luck. But if you're out there and you haven't downloaded the Sleeper app, go ahead, make it happen. Use my promo code LTN to get you 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. That's right, dollar for dollar match. You put in 100, they're going to give you an additional 100 to spend. And check this out. In the month of October, another additional promo for downloading the app, $20 free to your account for you to use. And as I've shown you, even though I haven't won much, this was a $15 bet that almost won me $800, basically, $790. It doesn't take much. Doesn't take much to win you a bunch of money. This is like the 6th time in my last 10 bets I've come down to needing one thing to happen, and it just didn't. So, like a wise man used to say on one of my favorite cartoons, I'll get you next time. So let's get back to the show. Big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. That was the skill game brought to you by Sleeper. Let's get back to the show.
The skill game brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. So let's get to the comment section. See what you guys have to say. I know you guys are devastated. You're pissed off. Now you got to deal with Bears fans. There's a lot of fallout from this loss that goes way beyond just losing a football game. The good thing for me is I don't be on social media for real. So the Bears fans don't bother me. Eagles fans are going to be trolling. That shit doesn't bother me either. I'm not on social media a ton. But for those of you who are, this sucks. I feel for you. It really, truly does suck ass. Because and that stuff's going to make its way to my timeline, unfortunately, because people are going to engage in some of that nonsense, and somehow my name always gets drugged into some shit and it ends up on my timeline. But again, I don't be on social media that often, so I get in, I get out, and so I feel for y'all that are on social media all the time. This shit sucks for y'all, man. I really hate it for y'all. I really truly do. Y'all deserve better than this shit. You really do. Anyway, I digress. Let me just find one thing that I'm looking for. And then we'll get to the comment section. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. Jayden Doffelmeyer. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jayden Doffelmeyer writes, can we get a round of applause to Quan Martin for getting lost in the sauce and running the complete opposite way on that last swift run to seal the game? I hate it here, Lou. Hey, cheers to Quan Martin, man. Cheers to Quan Martin for missing a tackle that led directly to a touchdown, for dropping an interception, and for just being Quan Martin, man. Quan Martin is the almost playmaker, right? He's almost close to making a play, but never actually truly does, right? And when he does, he surprises the shit out of us because we don't expect him to, right? So shout out to Quan Martin, man. Cheers. Yeah, I hate it here too. I hate this inconsistency. It drives me nuts. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, easiest 2-minute field goal ever. We all knew we were doomed. The minute Jayden fumbled that ball and it was recovered by the Bears, who in the hell thought we were going to get a stop? I love the legendary Miss P, right? She was so positive, like, we're gonna win this game. And I didn't want to tell her she was wrong because I wanted her to speak it into existence. I wanted something to happen, another bad snap, a holding penalty that drove them back and put them in a tough 3rd and long situation that they couldn't convert. I wanted something to happen, a bad snap. Maybe like the Eagles got lucky, we could block another kick. They got an ass kicker. Maybe he just hooked the shit. And initially when he kicked it, that bitch was heading straight to the left and then it straightened up. I was like, maybe, just maybe something can happen. It wasn't in the cards. But this is what I did know. The defense wasn't going to do it on its own. They were going to need some kind of intervention, some sort of help to get it done. They couldn't do it by themselves. Easiest, that 3rd and 4, I'll probably go to sleep and have a nightmare about how easy that 3rd and 4 was. Seriously? That's the best you got on the most critical down of the game. That 3rd and 4, that's the difference between them having to go for it, and that's the game. That's one. It comes down to one play, 3rd and 4. You get a stop there, now it's 4th down and 4. And you just drop 7, easy zone coverage. I mean, how much easier do you want it? Colston Loveland runs to the sticks, turns around and sits. I could have run that route. You could have run that route. They didn't even make it hard on Caleb. He was inaccurate as hell during the game. You didn't even make it hard on him. It's an easy pitch and catch. Great job, Joe. Great job, buddy. CGM 87. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I hope the clown hating on JD5 have the same energy for Quan's god-awful play to put them within 2. Should have gone for 2 on our touchdown. QB sneaked on 3rd and 1. No, you don't QB sneak with Jayden Daniels. I'm sorry. I've seen Patrick Mahomes get hurt that way. He's already got a banged up knee. We're not you're going quarterback sneak. You got to bring Marcus Mariota in the game for that. But here's the thing. We can sit here and second guess what it was 3rd and 1, bro. This is the worst rush defense in football. You can't get a yard. You don't deserve to win. Just get the snap cleanly, and you're probably going to pick up the 1st down. Haven't went back and watched the play. Maybe they get in there and they stop him. I don't think they would have. He would have smashed right into the line and got the 1st down. And then they would have to use their second timeout. And then we would have gotten into a position where we, at a bare minimum, if we don't get another 1st down, we're going to get the ball to the 2-minute warning. They're going to have to drive the length of the field. Again, I don't trust this defense to get the stop, but it's not going to be as easy as it ultimately was after the fumble, right? So, look, Jayden, he cost us the game tonight. But he also was the reason that we were up 8 and should have won the game tonight. So it goes both ways. But he had a bad interception and he had a bad fumble. You can't ignore that. As much as we ride for our quarterback, he made some mistakes tonight. That shit happens. He's still one of the best quarterbacks in football. No quarterback is perfect. Mistakes happen, right? But it'd be nice if the defense could pick him up. That'd be nice. Unfortunately, we don't have a team that's built that way yet. So when mistakes get made, you're probably going to have to pay for them, which is why we can't make mistakes on offense. We don't have a defense that's going to erase the mistake or even create takeaways that gives our offense a chance to have some freebies. We're just not built that way. So the offense has to go into every game knowing that either special teams is going to have to create some short fields, which they did for the most part. Special teams was outstanding again. We won special teams tonight, which I thought we would. And you're going to have to do it yourself. Either special teams going to have to do it or you're going to have to do it yourself. Don't look for this defense to do anything for you. But as I said earlier, for as much as you want to shit on the defense, they got the stop that they needed to put the ball where we wanted it, in the hands of the offense to go and ice this game, and they pissed it away. Can't be mad at the defense for that. King Smith, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show King Smith some love. Welcome with open arms. King Smith, welcome to the squad. Glad to have you. CGM87. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Season on life support if we can't beat the Bears at home. At Dallas, at Kansas City will take a miracle, allowing 10 and 15-yard rushes and clutch. Worst rush team. Wit sucks. That one stings. That one stings because, again, what it effectively does is it sets up a situation where now you got to do the thing that we don't think we're capable of doing, and that's going on the road and beating quality opponents. You can say what you want. You can look at Dallas's record. They're 2-3-1. They stink. They can't do this. They can't do that. They got the worst this. They got the worst. Well, the Bears had the worst rush defense. What do we do tonight? Like, we got to stop acting like we're the team that takes advantage of what other teams are taking advantage of, because we don't. When we go up against a team that has the worst this, we usually don't exploit it. When a team is the worst at stopping this, we usually aren't able to exploit it. So we got to stop assuming that we can do what everybody else does. You watch Rico Dowdle gash the Cowboys last week. I guarantee you we don't do that shit next week. I guarantee it. Bombs away, guys wide open. I guarantee you we don't hit guys wide open. And we had some tonight. Cliff dialed up some shit tonight. Man, we took advantage. I didn't love some of the play calls in some critical situations. Once they came with a blitz on Jayden, where's the screen behind that? Right? I thought he did a masterful job last week of, hitting the Chargers when they came with blitzes. Boom, a screen right behind it. Gotcha. We didn't do that this week. I don't know if we tried a single screen this week. I don't recall seeing any screens at all. So that was a little disappointing, but thought Cliff did a good enough job for us to win the game. Like, this isn't on Cliff. We when you lose, you search for reasons. You want scapegoats. Cliff isn't one of them tonight. He's not. So now you got to do the thing that we're trying. Like, the reason you wanted to beat Atlanta is because you weren't sure you could go on the road and beat the Chargers. So you wanted to have that safety net of being 3-1. So if you lose, you're 3-2. You wanted to beat Chicago because I can't speak for y'all. Y'all all think Dallas is trash and we're just going to go in there and we're going to beat them. I am scared of Dallas. Always have been, always will be, because we don't play well against them. Took a late Marcus Mariota run and throw to Terry McLaurin to beat them last year when they had nothing to play for with Trey Lance at quarterback. And then we couldn't even beat them with Cooper Rush at quarterback. So we struggle with Dallas, period. Don't matter who the hell's at quarterback, where the game is, we struggle with them. I have no reason to think that won't continue next week. So I wanted this one just to make sure that if we went in there on some dumbass shit, we still had a little bit of a cushion. Well, that cushion's been pissed away. Got to find a way to go beat Dallas, or you're sub 500. Then no time to lick your wounds, because you got to turn around. You got a Monday night contest against the Kansas City Chiefs. After that, you got Seattle. And then after that, you got Detroit. We're talking about 3 of the best teams in the league in a row. Kansas City, Seattle, Detroit. Good luck. You're going to need it. And before you get to any of them, you got to find a way to go on the road and beat Dallas. So, yeah, the season's not on life support, but you've just made things a lot more difficult for yourself. More difficult than they needed to be. More difficult than you needed to be. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, 3 turnovers, no run, couldn't stop the run, sloppy tackling. Why does Swift run on us regardless where he goes? That 55-yard Swift killed me. Yeah, that one. Just when you thought it was safe, I started to allow myself to start to think about winning this game, and, silly me. We went up 8 when Ertz caught that touchdown, and I started to think, hey, we might be able to do what I thought we was going to do, which is win this game by a couple of scores. Just get one more stop defense. Caleb was starting to get down on himself. He was doing that pouty, bitchy shit where he's on the sidelines. I was like, we got him. We got him, bro. We got him. And then we did the thing that bad teams do, right? You let them back in the game. You let them hang around. It's the same thing the Bears did earlier. The Bears could have put us away, but they're not a good team. So they didn't put us away. And they let us hang around. And eventually, because we are better than them, we didn't just take the lead. We started to try to distance ourselves from them. But because we're not a good team, we let them back in the game and ultimately let them steal it. Because that's what teams who aren't good, and again, I don't think we're a bad team, but we're not a good team. That's what teams that aren't good, that's what they do. That's why you find yourself in the middle class. Are we upper middle? Are we lower middle? Are we just in the middle? Don't know. Our record says that we're just in the middle. But that 55-yarder, it felt like the same thing the last time that changed the game, right? When we were playing them last year, they were dead in the water. They hadn't scored. And then he gets the big run and it gave them life. And they were dead, down 8. We had all the momentum. And that a simple out route. We run into each other. Every week we do some stupid shit on defense. We run into each other like the goddamn bad news bears. And then to top it off, Quan misses the tackle. All you do is push him out of bounds. First of all, just push him out of bounds. And then Marshawn Lattimore just gives up on the play because he thinks Quan's going to – Quan got it. So he stops. And then when he realizes Quan don't got it, he tries to speed. It's too late. That's some shit you show on film so everybody else knows this shit ain't acceptable right here. This is how you lose games. It's the little things, guys. It's the attention to detail. This is how you lose football games. Got to show the team that. That cost us. Loafing right there cost us. Because if he runs to the ball, he'll push him out of bounds. And again, with the way we were playing defense, they could have gotten down there. The ass won't get in the end zone, though. They won't get in the end zone. Caleb, when it comes to that, Caleb's ass. He's an ass. When it comes to getting down there, tight spaces, he didn't make a good throw to Roma Dunze. That was a good throw. But I feel good with Caleb down there about 15 yards away from the end zone. I feel more confident that you can get him to do something stupid because it's tight and confined than he's going to make a play. But we never gave ourselves a chance. Never gave ourselves a chance. That swift play killed me too. Because I knew what that entailed, what it meant. Not going to blow them out. We're not going to win this game going away after all. Now we got to fight. I got to fight for all my life. I had to fight. I knew we was going to have to fight again. And this time we didn't make the winning plays. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I'm so effing pissed off. I'm going to yell a little bit. Go ahead, JP. This is what we're here for. This is the therapy session. Let it all out, man. Matt Gay and Joe Witt suck. You got no objections here, even though I'm a Joe Witt Jr. stan. I'm here for all the Joe Witt slander tonight. I'm here for all the Joe Witt slander tonight. The pass rush was non-existent. It was, and he refused to blitz. And maybe he refused to blitz because he didn't want to make it easy on Caleb. And I get that, right? I get that. When you got a quarterback struggling, the last thing you want to do is give him a clear picture in man coverage. And all he's got to do is get somebody to win and hit an open receiver. So I get not wanting to be super aggressive against Caleb because you're more likely to get him to make a mistake like he did when he almost threw the pick to Mikey because he didn't see him. You're more likely to get Caleb to make a mistake like that than you are coming after him and giving him clear, easy lanes to throw the football to. But my gosh, at some point you got to make a decision and say, you know what? I'm not going to sit back here and just let us get picked apart. He says the pass rush was non-existent and Jordan McGee with a stupid penalty. Yeah, that was a dumb penalty. But, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's not why we lost the game. How about Jordan McGee get on the field defensively? I'm going to guess that Jordan McGee had less than 3 total snaps on defense. I think he had 0. I don't recall seeing him on the field at all tonight. That's really disappointing. That's really disappointing that he couldn't get on the field. I'm going to tell you what I am concerned about. The lack of depth at edge rusher. Now, with Javonte Jean-Baptiste out and Dorrance looks like he's going to be out now, Preston Smith is washed. He is cooked, bro. He's got nothing left in the tank. There is absolutely nothing. And, you know, the crazy part is all these guys, Clowney and Zadarius Smith and Preston and Vaughn and all these guys that were the options, none of them have anything left. Zadarius quit on the Eagles. He just retired. So that wouldn't have been a good option for us. Clowney ain't doing shit for Dallas. Von Miller is invisible for this team. And he's old. And Preston Smith, again, he just got here, but he has no juice left. He has no gas left in the tank. So you're starting Jacob Martin because you lost Dietrich Wise. And now you're going to have to start one of these guys that I just told you stinks and is old and is washed because there's no Dorrance Armstrong. We're in trouble. Is what I'm trying to convey to you. Like, we got to go to somebody's practice squad and go get some shit. We're in trouble. Because we're not stopping the run with Preston Smith. We're not stopping the run with Von Miller. We're not getting to the quarterback with either one of those dudes either. That's the shit that has me concerned moving forward. Pro Wrestling Archivist. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, John Perez. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Oh, somebody said Drake Jackson. They better sign his ass up. They better sign his ass tomorrow. We need him on Sunday. It's dark and bleak as hell at edge rusher. They better sign Drake Jackson today. They need to sign him yesterday. ASAP. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up with rights. Caleb ran circles around us tonight. He did? We watched the same game? You thought Caleb Williams ran circles around us? Okay. We have no game-changing pass, but we knew that already, JP. And the one guy that can do something is now hurt, and Dorrance Armstrong. So we can't have nice things. He got off to this crazy start. We had all these ideas of grandeur of this man, ended up with 15 sacks this year. And, of course, on cue, he gets injured. And we're probably going to be without him for at least the next month with a hamstring, is my guess. Of course. How else would that happen? We can't have nice things. Sorry to say it, and Jayden lost us this game with that BS phone. He did. You don't have to dance around that. He did lose us the game with that. That doesn't change the fact that he's a beast, and he's the best quarterback that this franchise has had since Joe Theismann, and that he's one of them one. That doesn't change the fact. Yeah, he lost us the game tonight. He'll probably tell you that himself. He got to own that. He talked about accountability. He's got to be accountable for that. He made the mistake. He made 2 mistakes tonight. That's a real thing. He'll be okay. My trust, my belief in him hasn't wavered. If anything, it continues to grow. He was surgical tonight. Sands for the interception and, of course, the fumble. He was surgical tonight. He was dotting these boys up. Not Nate, but maybe. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Not Nate, but maybe. Thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate you. Rush is Variety. Been a member for 25 months. Who writes, took 3 turnovers for them to keep up. Can we not force one? No, we can't. I don't even ask for them anymore. In my keys to victory, I don't ask for a turnover. None of them. When they happen, it's a pleasant surprise. Just take care of the ball. That's control the controllables, right? That's what I talk about. Control the controllables. Don't ask for something that you going to be disappointed when you don't get it. Just do the thing that you can do, which is take care of the football. We'll win a lot of games if we just don't turn it over. Just don't turn it over. The silver lining in all of these injuries offensively is that the young guys have had to step up, and they've proven that they can be a part of this offense even when we get healthier. That's a good thing. So this offense has a chance to be dynamic once Terry gets healthy, once Noah gets back. And even if you're one of those people that's like, man, don't count Noah. Okay, fine. Terry comes back. If Debo can get healthy, and Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey and Zach Ertz and Bill, I feel good about this group. J Mac, I feel good about this group. But you can't turn the ball over. That's who we are. You got to be damn near perfect. You can't turn the ball over. What was time of possession tonight? What was time of possession tonight? I feel like we were a lot better tonight. Yep, we won time of possession by 3 minutes. That's because we dominated on third downs. Like they were 3 of 10. We were 3 of 8. We weren't great on third downs, but like always, we didn't have a lot of third downs because we got first downs on first down and second down. So we didn't have a lot of third downs, but we held them to 3 of 10 on third downs. That's what did it for us. And then they were 0 of 1 on fourth down. So again, we did enough in this game, but like I said, can't turn it over 3 times. No, we can't force one. GT7. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, 2 turnovers by the 2 players, and why can't we stop the damn pitch? They beat us in the trenches. I already told y'all, if I'm playing against Washington, it's outside runs. It's outside zone. It's toss. It's sweeps. It's off tackle. It's anything to attack their edges because they're not fast. They're not fast defensively. So you're going to be able, your blockers are going to be able to get to the outside and get to those blocks, reach them, and seal. So there's going to be a gap because we're not fast enough as a defense. We're not physical enough on the edges. Our corners and our safeties aren't coming up and blowing shit up. They're just going to kind of go along with the wave. So if a linebacker doesn't come screaming out there, which we don't have the speed for that, you're not going to make the play, and we don't have that. Going Commando. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, like we said last week, 1 week doesn't change anything. Burn the apology box. It's still here, but we not taking no apologies right now for Joe Witt, man. I've actually went in the box, and some people have asked for his resignation in the box. So it's not a good time for him right now. But hey, I can't defend him right now because Joe Witt, when we needed him the most, when we needed his best calls, he played scared not to lose instead of to win. I would have rather him came after Caleb. Caleb finds somebody on a slant and they ran for a touchdown and Jayden gets the ball with a chance to win. I would have rather that shit happened than the slow bleed of, hey, they get a touchdown or a first down and another first down and another first down. And now we can't stop the clock and they are going to walk off with a field goal. I would have much rather that happened. Be aggressive. But he called the game scared is what he did. He called the game scared. But again, and I have to make sure I point this out, they got the stop, they being the defense, that they needed to get to give the football to the offense, which is what we wanted for them to be able to run the clock out, and they failed us. The offense failed us. So for as much as we want to kill Joe Witt in this defense, go right ahead. They got the critical stop that should have ensured victory, and the offense pissed it away with the turnover. So keep that in mind, all right? Says, on and off every other week, we made fun of them. We were made fun of for wanting Moody. I don't want Jake Moody. He still stinks. He still stinks. King Smith. I wouldn't be any more comfortable with him than I am Matt Gay. None of those guys make me comfortable. So I don't feel bad for one. If you wanted Jake Moody, more power to you. I don't want Jake Moody on this team. King Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Yo, Louie, this is Craig Smith's son. What up, though? Love the content, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, King. This reminded me so much of the NFC Championship game. Move the ball, turn it over. Move the ball, turn over. Lock in for week 7. This was worse than the NFC Championship game because we couldn't stop them at all. At least tonight, we were forcing the Bears to kick field goals. And like, we had a lead. We never had the lead in the NFC Championship game, other than when we got the opening possession and scored the field goal. After the Saquon run, we never had the lead again in the game. We had the lead. We were up 8, King. We were up 8. We just needed a stop. Appreciate you, King. Welcome to the MOBB. Very disappointing, but like you said, lock in for week 7. We could quickly turn this around, but it just gets old having the same conversations over and over again, because we're having the same conversation we had after week 2. We're having the same conversation we had after week 4. And if we win next week, we're going to have the same conversations that we had after week 3 and week 5. So we're just repeating the cycle over until we break this cycle. And I hope we don't break it in a negative way and fall below 500. Now we're going to be having a totally different conversation if that happens. But until we break the cycle and actually win more than one game in a row, what are we doing here? We're just spinning in place. We're running on the hamster wheel. Slick Shadow, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Slick Shadow writes, don't forget the penalties that took away gains. I mean, that went both ways. The Bears had a penalty that wiped away a touchdown. Like, that hurt both teams. Penalties hurt both teams, but ultimately it was the turnovers that did us in and the inability to take it away. That's what hurt us in this game. You don't turn the ball over 3 times, you win. You take it away once, you win. We didn't. So we lost. It's as simple as that. Quan Martin catches the pick, or Mikey. You just take a pick. One of those 2 guys catches the ball, it's game over. We win. Well, I won't say it's game over. If Mikey catches a pick, it just takes 3 points off the board. You saw what happened and how this game ultimately played itself out. It's a different ball game. But again, can't play the if, coulda, shoulda, woulda game. We got to deal in reality and what happened. And the reality is he didn't catch the ball. Quan didn't catch the ball. Quan didn't make a tackle. We turned it over 3 times. We turned it over in the most critical situation on a 3rd and 1 when we had a chance to ice the game. We got what we deserved. We got what we deserved. Random call. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Random call writes, we lack consistency because we aren't committed to an identity. We change what we do to best appease the opposing team every game. It's cowardice. I wouldn't say we lack an identity. Like the Bears, you got to give them credit. They stopped the run tonight. I didn't love the way we attacked them with the run game. What happened to all the pulling? Didn't feel like we got a lot of that tonight, right? What happened to all the pulls and the gap schemes that we had seen and the counters and, you know, what happened to all of that? Felt like it was a lot of just Jayden kind of handoff and then Bill try to find, you know, a lane, and they shut all of that down. What happened to all the movement, the pulling and all that shit? It didn't feel like the run game was creative. We had one creative play. That was the fake to Luke on the end around, fake to the handoff to Bill, and then you tossed it to Jalen Lane, and that got like a gain of 7. But it didn't feel like we had any real creativity in the run game tonight. So you got to credit them. We ran the ball. Bill had his most carries in his NFL career. Bill had 17 carries tonight. They ran the ball. They ran the ball. It didn't work. He had 3.6 yards a carry. He had 61 yards. It didn't work. You got to credit them for that. Got to give them credit. Again, a lot of the conversations that we're having right now, if Jayden doesn't fumble that football and we win this game 24-22, a lot of these conversations aren't being had. There's a fine line in this league between winning and losing. We crossed that bitch tonight. We walked that tightrope with the 2 turnovers and we were ready to get away with it. And then you turn it over again and we crossed that line and we had to pay. You got to pay at this point. Going Commando. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up with rights. Turnovers or not, this offense had us up 24-16 and the defense couldn't hold them in the rain. You're not wrong. They both had their hand in losing this game. You're not wrong. But again, the reason that we were in that predicament is because the offense had already turned it over twice. That led to 10, points by the Bears. You take away those 2 turnovers and they're just 2 punts. I'm not saying that they still wouldn't have gotten those points. I'm just saying it's highly unlikely that they would have still gotten those points. The Bears were struggling on offense tonight. It's not act like they weren't. They got most of what they got tonight based off of us turning the ball over. I just told you 13 of their 25 points came off of turnovers. Like they struggled tonight. They were 3 of 10 on third downs. They were 0 of 1 on fourth downs. They struggled mightily tonight. For the first time this season, or maybe since week 1 against the Giants. And maybe we didn't win. I don't think we won time possession against them either. We won time of possession. It's not an accident. They didn't control the ball tonight because they weren't very good on offense tonight. But the problem is we turned it over. We gave them short fields and they capitalized. Now, they didn't capitalize to the full extent because they didn't score touchdowns every time, but they didn't need to because we turned it over. Jayden had an intentional grounding that killed the drive. We had to we were in field goal range and then ended up not getting any points because you have that intentional grounding. That is the 5th week in a row. No. That is the 5th time in 6 weeks. The only game I'm not sure we had an intentional grounding in is Green Bay week 2. Somebody fact check me to see if that exists. We might have an intentional grounding every single week. And it has cost us dearly. That took away an opportunity for another field goal attempt. Or maybe we convert on that third down and we're not even having that conversation and we end up scoring a touchdown on the drive. It turns into a 3rd and long and then J-Mac drops the football and we ultimately have to punt. Either we had to punt or it ended up being a long field goal attempt. And that was the one he made from like 53. Whatever the case may be. It's stuff like that. It's the little things that get you beat, man. Right? So you say the defense couldn't hold them. No, you're not wrong. But the defense got the stop it needed at 24-22 to put us in a position to win. DQ talks about complementary football, right? Does he not? So the offense had a chance after they scored the touchdown to go down and answer with a touchdown. Did they do that? No, they didn't. They punted the ball back to the Bears. And you know what the defense did? Complementary football. They got to stop. You know what Jalen Lane did? He got a 10-yard return. Set us up with good field position. You know what the offense then did? Moved the football, got in a position to win us the game, and then fumbled the damn game away. So, again, we had our chance. We had a chance. We didn't get it done. GT7, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. GT7 writes, I meant, why can't we stop the run toss left and right? Because I already told you we're not fast enough on defense. In order to stop outside runs, you need team speed defensively. You have to disrupt an outside run with speed. If you're too slow to the ball, all of the blocks fit up. And because Bobby Wagner's slow and Frankie Louvu, isn't the fastest guy in the world either, you're not getting guys over there. And then our defensive linemen aren't getting out there because you got Jacob Martin and Von Miller and Preston Smith. I mean, remember when teams used to try to run tosses against us with Montez Sweat, Chase Young, we said what we want about them getting to the quarterback, but you weren't running outside against those guys. Why? Because they were athletically gifted. So they were going to blow that shit up. We don't have that on the D-line, and we don't have it at the linebacker position. So you can get to the edges against us. Jaden Dolphelmeyer, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who doubles up and says, We couldn't even get a turnover off Geno Smith. I told you this is why if you think we're going to go to Dallas and exploit their defense and all of a sudden we're going to score 40 and light them up like a Christmas tree like everybody, you're sadly mistaken because we don't take advantage of what everybody else takes advantage of. Every week I watch Geno Smith and this dude is throwing 2 and 3 interceptions every week. It don't matter who he was just playing the Titans. He couldn't stay clean against the Titans, bro. Geno Smith is ass. Every week it's 3, it's 4 interception. The man leads the league in interception. You think we got one off of him? Mm-mm. So if you think next week, all of a sudden, we're just going to expose this Cowboys defense for what they are and make the Cowboys feel even worse. No. If anything, it'll be working the reverse and they'll get their shit together against us. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes. No, all I'm going to say is that this team isn't ready, nor will it ever be. Right? That's too grandiose of a statement. That's too definitive of a statement. You can't say that it never will be ready. You're upset. That's fine. Changes need to be made. What changes, Yoshi? You got all the answers. What's the changes that need to be made, Yoshi? What changes need to be made? What can you do 6 weeks into the season that's going to make a difference? I have no words for Witt and Quinn. This team will not make the playoffs, nor will we get close. Again, I expected more of this. I'm actually proud of y'all up until this super chat from Yoshi because I thought there would be more of this. Now, I may get deeper into the super chats and it may get like this. I expected more of this. This is the same behavior 2 weeks ago. All right. Doom and gloom. Sky is falling. We suck. Oh, my God. It's 11 games left, man. One win and you're singing a different tune and we're back on the hype train once again. Like, okay. And officially, this draft class sucks. Okay, cool. Josh Connolly was solid again tonight. Trey Amos continues to be really good at the cornerback position. Jalen Lane had a big play tonight, continues to be really good on punt returns. And Bill continues to be a really good, gem of a 7th round pick. But okay, this draft class sucks. Got it, Yoshi. I got it. Swaggy P. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, Swaggy P writes, handed the game away. We literally handed the game away. Like, wow. Edge run defense is awful. I've been telling you this for years. I'm not surprised, neither should you. If you've been watching this show, I've been telling you if I'm playing the Commanders, I'm not even trying to run the ball in between the tackles. There's no reason to when there's so much free food on the outside. You can eat and eat good on the outside of our defense. Off the edges, what? Toss, pitch, off tackle galore. Swift had another long touchdown down the sideline like last year. Go figure. We can't stop DeAndre Swift no matter what jersey he has on. Jayden and Bill will secure the ball better. Let's bounce back next week on to Dallas. Hashtag raise hell. As always, I needed that. I needed that from you. Shout out to King who said, hey, we got to lock in for week 7 because you can only dwell on this for so long. It's fresh. It just happened. This sucks. I hate it here. All we had to do was get 2 first downs, convert 3rd and 1, one more first down and the game was over. That's it. That is it, bro. That is all we had to do. Will Cadle, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, no rhythm this season. We win a game, then blow the next one. That is the definition of inconsistency, which is what we are, inconsistent. If there's one thing we are, it's consistent at being inconsistent. Right? You had 2 straight games of forcing at least 1 turnover. That came to an end. You had the first 3 games of the season where you didn't turn the ball over. Now you've turned it over 3 straight weeks in a row. So, yeah. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ethan writes, that missed kick made me crash out. Sick of it. Hey, welcome to the club, man. One day we will fix our kicking situation. Won't be this year, probably won't be next year, but one day, hopefully in my lifetime, we will fix the place kicking position. Cheers to that. I don't know when the hell it's going to be. But Matt Gay's going to drive all of us to drink this season, which is what I'm doing right now. Ethan Dykes, my God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, forget the 50-yarder. Go for it. That's what made us special last year. Coaching has regressed. Brutal way to lose in a big game. Stings bad. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think the answer is just be aggressive. You signed this kicker to the highest deal of guaranteed money in a single season for a one-year deal that any kicker has gotten in NFL history. He should be in a day and age where guys are kicking 50-yard field goals like they're nothing, like they're 35-yard field goals. I shouldn't have to question whether my kicker can make a 50-yard kick and that my coach should have to go for it because we don't have the belief in a kicker to make a 50-yard kick. That we shouldn't have to do that. This was a game that you didn't need to, like, you're playing Kansas City and you know you're going to have to score 37 to win. Yeah, you go for it on 4th and 4. This is Chicago. They've won 2 straight games, 25-24. You shouldn't have to go for it and be over aggressive to beat them. Make the damn kick from 50 yards. You don't need to go for it against Chicago. I don't agree with that, Ethan. Make the damn kick. JB3, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JB3 writes, B-Rob wouldn't have fumbled that exchange. Yes, he would have. That had nothing to do with the running back. So, Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Jayden's worst in the class. Can't make screen passes accurately for his life. And the smiling. Me seeing him smile in the PC while saying it's on me made me completely out on him and the turnovers. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my God. Writes, subscribe and get this man to 30K. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. My God. Appreciate you for the public service announcement. Who writes, can't believe we lost the line of scrimmage so bad tonight on both sides. I don't think we lost it incredibly bad on both sides. I think we definitely lost it on the defensive side for sure. I think we won it on the offensive side. Look, they stopped the run a lot more effectively than we thought they were going to. But they really didn't sniff Jayden for real tonight. Like, he was sacked 3 times. And I think some of those sacks were on Cliff, personally. There were a couple of jailbreaks where the guys just, I don't know what the hell we were doing. But also, you could see certain plays where, okay, expect pressure here. Quick hit. We needed a quick answer, and there just wasn't for Jayden on those plays. So, even if you wanted to say we lost it on offense, it wasn't badly. But I think we were fine on offense. Where we lost it definitively was on defense. Definitively. He says, can't wait for Cosme and Terry to be back. Well, you don't have to wait much longer. I don't know if Terry's going to be back next week. Cosme is definitely back next week, and that'll be a sight for sore eyes for sure. Quan sucks too. I don't think Quan sucks. He's just regular. That's all. He's a solid football player. He's a solid football player. But he's not a game changer. He's not a playmaker. When you draft a safety in the 2nd round, you're hoping that you just drafted a playmaker, and Quan isn't a playmaker. But he's not. He doesn't suck. I won't put that on him. He doesn't suck. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Haval writes, if there's it's one thing if we lost to Vegas or LA, but we're losing to NFC teams. These are games weighted heavily because of the end of season tiebreakers. Exactly. We talked about it, right? like, you got to pick your spots when you lose games. And nobody wants to lose, but you continue to lose to NFC teams and you look up at the end of the season and we start talking about tiebreakers. You want to mess around and win 10 games this season, and so does Chicago. Well, guess what? Chicago owns the tiebreaker. You want to mess around and win 10 games, and Atlanta wants to win 10 games. Guess what? Atlanta beat you. So you lose the tiebreaker. And that could be the difference between being on the outside looking in or being the 7th seed or being the 6th seed and getting into the postseason. So we're not doing ourselves any favors right now. We're not. You're not wrong. We had these conversations already. Nyron, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Nyron writes, Wiley is a terrorist. D is old and slow. What's new? Can we never just comfortably beat the Bears? Joe Witt Jr. got to go, man. I don't care about solid anymore. I want better. Yeah, it hasn't been good enough. But I can't. I mean, what I want to say, no one wants to hear. I don't even want to hear the shit. But I will say the injuries are starting to kick our ass, because we already came in with a defensive line that we thought was deep, but we knew we couldn't really afford injuries. There was no Eddie Goldman tonight. You're already down Dietrich Wise. You're already down Javonte Jean-Baptiste. Now you lose Dorrance Armstrong, and that's one of the pieces you could ill afford to lose. Now it's a bunch of old-ass 30-somethings out there running around at edge rusher with Jacob Martin. Bro, you got no shot up front. You got no shot up front. If Jacob Martin is the youngest edge rusher you got, and he's the best you got no shot, bro. It's Von Miller. It's Preston Smith. It's dudes that were good in the 20 teens. It's the ghost of 2018 at edge rusher for us. Like, what do you want Joe Witt to do? Seriously. I'm not trying to defend him. I'm just telling y'all what it is. They took Dietrich from us. They took Dorrance from us. They took Javonte Jean-Baptiste from us. Like, what do you want him to do? Either you got to blitz. Y'all don't love our corners. You don't love them. I don't really know what. I don't know what I want. This is losing confuses me, because I'm like, I want Joe Witt to be better too. This shit is not acceptable. It's not good enough, but you running out of answers, bro. Like, that 3rd and 4 zone defense ain't it. I know that much. I know that much. That ain't it. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy E writes, the difference in the screen games was crazy. Yeah, no, he was dialing them shits up. And we didn't have smart players on the field when they ran those screens. There was never Deron Payne on the screen, on the field, to sniff screen out. It was always Johnny Newton and you know, a bunch of overzealous guys that thought they were getting a chance to get to the quarterback. And you're just like, bro, y'all didn't feel screen there? Of course they didn't. Yeah, we didn't even run screens tonight. DC1, been a member for 22 months. Who writes, 1-3 conference record. Yeah. Yeah. But we keep beating AFC teams. Yeah. Them shits count too, though, man. While we bullshitting and we all, you know, sick about the conference record, just keep winning games. I don't really give a shit who they're against. You win enough games at the end of the season, tiebreakers won't matter. But you don't win enough games, then this shit comes into play. You much rather win the ones in the conference than outside of it. But I don't give a shit. If we beat Kansas City, I'm going to be happy as a bitch. But at some point, you got to beat Seattle and Detroit and Dallas. Like, at some point, you got to win some NFC games too, right? But that's a part of it. Like, you're going to play more NFC games than AFC games. So if we don't start winning some of these NFC games, it's not going to matter anyway. We're not going to win enough to qualify for postseason play. So it is what it is. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ethan writes, the defense looks so confused on every snap. Why? I think they're doing too much. Instead of simplifying the defense, like I give you a great example. Because the motion has been kicking our ass, right? I think they've put in defenses where, you know, you're playing coverages where you're staying on that side of the field, shallow cross. You pointed out to a guy on the other side of the field. The linebacker's supposed to run with that shallow cross. You don't run with it. You stay on your side of the field. Crossers go to the other side, or there's nobody on the other side to pick that crosser up, and you got to run with it. But if you're not on the same page, if y'all not communicating right, all it takes is one person to F up a play on defense. Everybody, 10 dudes can do it right, and if one dude F it up, that could be. And so Roma Dunze gets passed off to nobody. Marshawn Lattimore is screaming, and I don't know if he's in the wrong or if he's right, but he's screaming, hey, because he just turned them loose on a shallow cross. It's 3rd and 6. Nobody runs with Roma Dunze. We haven't navigated traffic well. Marshawn Lattimore this year has not navigated traffic well. So if he would have run with him, chances are, just like on the touchdown to DeAndre Swift, he probably would have ran into some damn body. Or he would have bubbled 15 yards over the top of the shit. So it's still been an easy catch and run. So instead of doing that, now you get it to where somebody else picks him up as he crosses, but nobody picked him up. And so he catches the bitch and runs for like 30 yards. And I just think we're doing too much on defense. But then every so often you look up and Bobby Wagner ends up in, because of the coverage we're playing, he has to run with any crossers. He has to run with any crossers that run into his space. So here comes Olamide Zaccheaus. He's got to run with him. Now he's in man coverage. We can't keep living like this. We can't keep living like this. But we don't have a choice. This is what we got. A bunch of 30-somethings mixed in with a couple of young boys. But for the most part, it's an old defense. So we just got to figure this shit out. And I don't think there's a figure it out. The only remedy for this is, A, offense. You got to score and you can't turn it over. Simple as that. I think we're doing too much on defense. Rocky Road, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rocky writes, Lou, I'm really tired of Joe Nitwit. Let's not call names. Is it against the rules to blitz? It baffles the mind. It boggles the mind that you can be aggressive in attacking the line of scrimmage one week and then the next week. And again, you know, the plan changes from week to week, who you playing at quarterback. I didn't think the Bears' offensive line was going to be great tonight. I didn't expect it to be. We sacked Caleb Williams 3 times tonight. Now, 3 times tonight. Like, he had one where he ran to the sideline and didn't want to run out of bounds because he didn't want to stop the clock, and Frankie lit him up right before the half. So that's technically a sack. It really was. The only real sack we got on Caleb Williams tonight was the one where we got him in the pocket with Dorrance. So we technically sacked him 3 times. We really didn't. Joe needed to be a little bit more aggressive, but he wasn't. He refused to be. And again, I think he didn't want to be aggressive because Caleb Williams struggles with zone coverage, and he's better against man. So he didn't want to blitz and play man behind it. But you got to do something, bro. He said, is it against the rules to blitz? It's obvious that rushing 4 is not working. I know, man. I know. I wish I had answers for you, bro. I wish. I wish, I wish, I wish. I wish, I wish, I wish. Ricky D. Hustle, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ricky D. writes, what up, Lou? Caleb and Jayden both have slippery balls. Pause. Caleb took the sack, and Jayden tried to make the play and fumbled. Jayden, that's a lesson learned. It's a tough lesson to learn because it cost us the game. But moving forward, you rather him just eat that one, right? Just either you just corral the ball yourself. You never had it. So abort play so you can make sure and then you could have tried to run it for a yard yourself. Worst case scenario, if you can't get a good handle on it, at least fall on it. Save the possession. We punt the football, and you give the defense a blank slate to work with instead of putting them in a position where they weren't going to get. They probably weren't going to get the stop regardless, but at least the Bears would have had to work for the shit. They didn't. They really could just, like, we didn't make Caleb beat us. We let him hand the bitch off on that last possession. He didn't have to do shit. He made one throw on the 3rd down and 4. They basically ran that bitch down our throats. CC Skins, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CC Skins writes, Lou, at this point, I think we have to realize who we are. Definitely not getting turnovers. Check. Offense not in sync. I can't say that because we've never seen our offense together yet. We don't even know what it looks like. We don't know what this offense looks like. We don't know what it looks like with Bill at running back as your starter, with Terry as your number 1, Debo as your number 2, Noah Brown as your number. And we may never see this shit fully healthy this season. We might be chasing a ghost for all we know. But we can't say this offense isn't in sync. They moved the ball tonight when they didn't turn the shit over 3 times. We went from trailing 13-0 to up 24-16. We didn't do that with the help of the defense. They didn't create a short field or a turnover for us. It was special teams creating, quality field position, but that was all offense. I can't say that they're not in sync. We don't turn the ball over tonight. We scored 30 more likely than not. But if and buts were candy and nuts, oh, what a wonderful world it would be. We did turn it over 3 times. Need Terry back, need to score 30 to win. I don't necessarily think you're wrong. We got to go back to, and I'm not saying we got to be aggressive and go for it on 4th down, but we got to be in the mindset of every week, we probably got to score 30 to win. I do think that's the way we got to approach it. And I say that, and this is the part that is frustrating. I say that, but how many times we gave up 30 this year? I'm waiting. How many times we gave up 30 this year? Once. So you say we got to score 30, but we really don't. If we just play sound football and don't beat ourselves, for as bad as this defense feels, it ain't like we out here giving up 33 every week. I know a lot of people want to make this defense out to be Cincinnati defense from last year. They were giving up 35 every week, it felt like. Didn't matter what Joe Burrow did, it was never enough. Bro, the Giants scored 6. The Packers scored 27. The Raiders scored 24. The one game we gave it up, like really gave it up, was the Falcons game. They scored 34 on us. Last week, the Chargers scored 10, and this week, the Bears scored 25. We averaged 28 points a game. We were averaging 28 points per game going into this game. Again, without the mistakes and just a twinge of defense, 28 points would have beaten every team we've played against this season except for the Atlanta Falcons. But you can't turn the ball over. You can't turn the ball over and expect to win because we don't generate turnovers. Jimbo James, thank you for being a member for 48 months. Celebrate. Appreciate you and congrats on your 4-year Annie, who writes, As soon as it started raining, we self-destructed. I don't think we did. It didn't help the offense, obviously, but it didn't help the offense or the defense. The tackling got worse. The mistakes started to happen. It got slippery. The rain didn't help us, but both teams had to play in it. That wasn't a one-sided thing. Both teams had to play in it. Ryan E. Carbon, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, so we said we could have a worse record and still prove we are a better team. But this game proves we aren't better than last year, arguably worse. You're not wrong. It's still early. So we can't say that this is who we're going to be all season long moving forward. But as of right now, yeah, I'd say you're right about that. We're not a better team than we were last year right now. We're not. Because last year, we would have found a way to win this game. Especially with the offense having the ball late. We wouldn't have pissed it away. So, yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment right now. But that doesn't mean we have to stay here. This isn't a permanent state that we're in. It's temporary. We're not good right now. Doesn't mean we won't be good a month from now. You go and you beat Dallas, Kansas City, and Seattle, and you're heading into the Detroit game at 6-3. We're going to all be singing a different tune about this team, right? Like, this thing changes quickly. The NFL is week to week. We say this all the time, but fans don't really, they say it because it's cliche. They don't mean it because every week they live and die with the result. They ride the roller coaster of emotions. So the easy thing to say is it's a week-to-week league. If you're rational, that's the way you look at it. But when you're an emotional fan, F that. We suck. We lost. And that's just not how the NFL works. We beat Dallas next week. You beat Kansas City the week after that, and you beat Seattle, and you're heading into the game against the Lions at 6-3. Shit, you're one of the best teams in football. But again, that seems so far-fetched and ridiculous to think that that's going to happen sitting here at 3-3, knowing what we know about this team right now. But that's how it's a fine line in the NFL, winning and losing. It's a fine line. So, we'll see what happens. Right now, as this team is set up in terms of how they're playing and they're not making winning plays and those winning time moments we talked about. Remember last year, we talked about, man, it's hard to replicate 9-3 in one-score games. That's hard to replicate. Well, here we are. Another one-score game that we didn't get it done in. Right? Happened 2 weeks ago against Atlanta. So, got to find a way to win these close games. Right now, we've lost the 2 close games, and we've won all of the games. Like, that's the crazy part. The 3 wins weren't close. Beat the Giants by 15. Beat the Raiders by 17. Beat the beat the Chargers by 17. We won those games going away. It's the close games that are kicking our ass this year. It's the winning time moments that are presenting problems for us. We're not executing in the winning time moments, defensively, offensively. That's supposed to be a staple of who we are. So, again, we're not that far away. We're not that far off, but it feels like it because when you lose, it feels like the sky is falling. But ultimately, last year we would have found a way to win this game, and we didn't. So right now, I think your assessment is accurate. But that's, again, it's temporary. Can't say that we're a worse team this season and then that's it. Like, there's no chance to get better over the next 11 weeks of football. We could very well end up with a worse record. Probably will end up with a worse record. Doesn't mean that we're not a better team. I still believe that we can end up being a better team than we were last year. But the injuries are really making it tough on us. It's really making it, because again, I said we were a deeper team, but that doesn't mean you need injuries to prove it. Like, we're starting to get hit pretty good with the injuries. But again, look around the league, who isn't? Baker Mayfield was throwing to his 5th, 6th, and 7th receivers yesterday, and they still got it done in one, and they're 5-1. Nobody cares about your circumstances. Find a way to get it done. That's the name of the game. In 2030, we won't have to worry about a game like this with inclement weather impacting us, because we'll have a enclosed stadium. But for now, you got what you got. And it got wet outside, and we didn't handle it well. Shadow Striker 789 writes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, and it was with tonight's game I realized that we were truly overachievers last year. Uh-oh, here we go. 3-3 after this easy stretch of games is damning. So in our minds, we created the narrative that this is an easy stretch of football. Games you were supposed to win, right? There's no such thing as an easy stretch unless you're playing the worst of the worst. We didn't play the Jets. We didn't play the Titans. We didn't play, the worst teams in football. We played the Falcons when they were supposed to be down in the dumps. They've won 2 in a row, including beating Buffalo tonight. So they have a winning record. Now, when we played them, they didn't, but they have a winning record now. The Bears have a winning record. The Packers have a winning record. We didn't lose to any teams with losing records. Now, we contributed to those teams having winning records, right, by not beating them. But my point is, we didn't lose to the little sisters of the poor. We lost to quality teams that are either at the same level we are, because, again, we're no different than Atlanta. We're no different than Chicago. We didn't separate ourselves. We had chances to do that. We didn't. We're no different than them. So who are we to call this an easy stretch when those teams beat us? We're back to not being able to look at somebody like food, unless it's the Tennessee Titans, which aren't on the schedule. The only team remaining, let me just clarify this for you guys so we understand and we're all on the same page. The only team left on the schedule that is, in fact, food that we must devour is Miami. There isn't another gimme game on the schedule. Not Minnesota, not the Giants, not the Cowboys. It ain't no more easy games. Shit, the only game that we truly had that was easy was the Raiders. We're keeping it a buck. To come out of this stretch 3-3 is very disappointing. Shit, we said coming out of the first 4 weeks, if you weren't 3-1, you were disappointed. Well, we were 2-2. Now coming out of this stretch, you're disappointed because you should be at least 4-2. You're 3-3. This is the lack of consistency that I talked about. But again, that doesn't mean that we don't get better as the season wears on and we don't get hot and eventually win some games that you guys just can't see us winning right now. And then finally get hot and start playing our best football at the right time of the season. That's when it matters. We just got to stay afloat until, we can get into a rhythm and figure this shit. And maybe we never figure it out. Maybe the injuries are just too much for us to overcome this season. Who knows? We'll see. But I think it's too early for anyone to be making definitive statements about what this team is or isn't. I'll say that. The injuries are definitely making it tough on us, especially defensively. We can overcome just about anything on offense because of 5. As long as he's healthy in the lineup. We don't have a 5 on defense. So there's no eraser on defense. So if 5 in the offense isn't scoring, sustaining drives, putting points on the board, and making it easier on the defense, we're in trouble. They especially can't turn it over. They have a responsibility, does the offense, whether they like it or not. They have a responsibility every week. And it sucks, but it's what it is. They have to be special every week on offense. because we don't know what the defense is going to do. Here's what we do know the defense won't do. It won't generate turnovers. We do know that. So you're going to you don't know if the defense, they held the Bears to 3 of 10. We don't know if they're going to do that against Dallas next week. It was 3 of 10 this week. It might be 6 of 11 next week. Dallas is on third downs and they have success. We don't know what the hell. We don't know what defense is going to show up from week to week. The one that's getting stops on third downs, the one that's holding it down in the red zone, they held it down in the red zone again this week. Or is it the one that's going to let the Falcons go 4 of 6 in the red zone and score basically every goddamn time they get down? We don't know. So in order to offset that, just score, baby. Offense, just score. Take care of the rock and score as many points as you can just as a fail-safe in case the defense trips this week. You got to assume every week the defense is just going to trip, even though that's not true. Perception isn't necessarily reality. I just told you that we haven't given up 30 but one time this season. I'm not bragging about that. I'm just telling you, we on average 28 points. Technically, if we are who we say we are in offense from a points per game perspective, we should be 5-1 right now. But that's not how it works. That number gets inflated by the 41 you scored against the Raiders. We know how this shit works. But ultimately, if you can score 28 every week, you're going to win a lot of games. This defense isn't giving up 30. This is what I keep arguing with y'all about. This isn't Cincinnati's defense where they were giving up 30 plus every week. This defense isn't doing that. But the offense has to do its part, and it has to score, and it can't turn it over. This defense isn't good enough to overcome the offense turning it over. They're not good enough to just do it on their own as is. They definitely can't do it when the offense is turning this shit over. He says 10 wins is a stretch now. Again, you can't say that. Like I said, what if you win the next 3 games? You're 6-3. Does 10 feel, out of reach, or does it feel like a stretch then? You don't know what's going to happen. You could get on a run where you win 5 of 6. You already got 3 wins already. You win 5 of 6. That's 8 wins. Again, depending on when that happens, but you can't say that 10 wins is a stretch right now. You can't say that because you don't know what this team is going to be a month from now. You don't know what this team is 2 months from now. Could be a totally different team. They could be clicking on all cylinders offensively and can't be stopped. You don't know what this team is going to be. 2 weeks from now, you don't know what this team is going to be. We go to Arrowhead and upset the Chiefs, and you're going to be singing a totally different tune. Then we can't win 10 games. It's a week-to-week league. So we can't make those type of statements. I know you're upset, and it's frustrating, and the way that this season has started is frustrating. I get it. You think the Chiefs planned on being 3-3 right now? You think the Bills thought they would be 4-2? You think the Eagles thought they would be 4-2 after starting 4-0? Shit happens, man. You find a way to the thing that I feel confident, just like the Chiefs probably feel confident, is that they're getting healthier and you got one of them ones at quarterback. I feel for teams like Philadelphia and those other teams. The Bills aren't tripping. They got Josh Allen. They shouldn't be. We got Jayden Daniels. I'm good. I'll be all right. I'll survive. I would feel some type of way if my quarterback was Jalen Hurts. No shade, but I guess it is, right? I'd feel some type of way if I had expectations coming into the season and things weren't going the way that I wanted them to go, and I didn't have a quarterback the caliber of Jayden Daniels. Let me just say it that way. I don't need to take shots at other teams and their quarterbacks. I feel confident because every game that we play in, I think we got a shot to win. Despite Joe Witt Jr., despite this defense, despite all of the question marks that we have, we got 5. We got a shot. So he says, we are too damn old. Fire Joe Nitwit. We are old on defense, but we knew that going into the season. What we couldn't have accounted for were all the injuries that have really exposed the old nature of our team. It's forcing the guys that were supposed to be old but just depth to now come to the forefront and have to play weight. It's the same thing that happened with with Dante Fowler Jr. He wasn't supposed to play as much as he did last year, but because of injuries, he had to play last year. It's the same thing. Von Miller, Jacob Martin, Preston Smith, these guys weren't supposed to be playing a bunch of snaps. But Dietrich Wise goes down. Now Dorrance Armstrong is hurt. Javonte Jean-Baptiste is hurt. And now all of a sudden, those guys not only do they have to play meaningful snaps, they got to start. They got to figure some shit out, man. We need some help. This is where Adam Peters is going to have to earn his keep. He's going to have to scour the streets and find us a couple of quality young defensive ends, man. We can't keep going to this veteran well. They got to figure some shit out. We are definitely old. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy. Right. Football gods had to give us one back to the Bears. Had to give one back to the Bears. Yeah. I mean, this didn't hurt as bad as the one last year, but yeah, this shit stings. I ain't gonna front. This one stings. This was vindication for the Bears fans. They got their look back or whatever. But nothing will top the Washington walk-off, aka Bear Trap, aka Noah's Ark. But yeah, this will suffice for Bears fans. This will suffice. Right? This will suffice. JTF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. JTF writes, Matt Gay needs to go. Double up. So double up. Sick of LB cursing our team. Look, I feel good about I killed LB after they lost. I crushed them. That video was so good. I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this game. I love it. You know what I mean? I'm not tripping. The Eagles aren't good this season. We still are going to win this division. As crazy as that sounds. I know it sounds crazy. They aren't good. We're going to win this division. And I feel very confident in saying that. Sounds crazy today after this loss. Yeah, it sucks, but we turned it over 3 times. We missed a field goal. We dropped 2 interceptions. We missed a tackle on a 55-yard touchdown. We did a lot of dumb shit, and we lost by 1. We're going to be fine. Old-ass players or not, defensively, we got Jayden Daniels, bro. He was cooking. He was dotting them boys up tonight. Yeah, he made some mistakes. Mistakes happen. No one's perfect. But we got one of them ones, bro. He was running. He was dotting these boys up. The offense is only going to get better. I'm still super confident in the fact that we're going to win this division. I don't want it to come down to a wild card and tiebreakers because, as you can clearly see, we're losing every meaningful tiebreaker of teams that probably won't win their division. Atlanta's not beating Tampa Bay out for that division. They're going to be a wild card team if they make it that far. I don't know about Atlanta making it that far, but if they do, clearly. Bears, same thing. I don't think they're going to make it that far. This is not a good Bears team. Who are we kidding? They're the 3rd best team in their division, and they've already lost to the team that I think is the worst in that division, Minnesota. They've already lost to them at home. I can't see this team beating Detroit. They've already lost and gave up 50 to them once already. I can't see them beating Green Bay. They haven't played them yet. I think Green Bay's going to sweep them. I think Detroit's going to sweep them. So that's 3 more losses they got coming their way, more likely than not. And they got to go to Minnesota. Caleb Williams has not beat an NFC North team in his career. So if we stay on that path, which at some point he's going to win a game in the division, but if we stay down that path, they've got at least a bare minimum of 4 more losses coming to them. So when it's all said and done, and the dust settles, the smoke clears, this Bears team isn't going to win a ton of games, right? Am I tripping? Everybody else in the division hasn't played them yet. So I could see them losing to at least 2 out of the 3 teams, but they played Dallas. They beat Dallas. They're not beating. I don't think they're going to beat Philadelphia. And if they do beat Philadelphia, good. Shit. Doesn't matter to me. And I can see them losing to the Giants. They should beat the Giants. But I can see them losing to the Giants. So essentially what I'm saying to you is, forget about all of that. We're going to win the division. That's where your eyes should be. That's where the prize is. So keep your eyes on the prize, the division. Have you seen a dominant team in this division yet? Yes or no? If you have, let me know. If you haven't, no, we're not dominant. No, we're not great, but neither is anyone else in this division. But I can tell you what we do have, the best quarterback in the division. That counts for something. Matter of fact, that counts for everything. That counts for a lot. Video channel. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou! Ben versus Witt was like a Harvard scholar debating a middle schooler. The inability to get turnovers is at a code red. Cheers to the Harvard scholar schooling the middle schooler. Yeah, Joe Witt was in over his head tonight. I mean, the screen game alone was killer. Oh, ew, killer tofu, E-I-E. You know, on that note, it's time for a commercial break. I'll be back.
Sleeper. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips, play in fantasy leagues, and win real money on pick contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper.
Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring the stream. Let's get back to the comment section. Ricky D. Hustle, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ricky D. writes, Bobby is a liability in coverage and outside zone. The edges are soft in the run game. Wiley has been bad in pass protection and turnovers. Bad shiggity. Shout out to Spooky Lukey. He had a good game. Shout out to Luke, man. Luke did his thing tonight. I'm proud of him. He continues to grow every single week. Shout out to our guy, Luke McCaffrey, man. Really disappointed that we didn't have the finish to the game, because when you don't do the things that you need to do, it's unfortunate, because we should have been celebrating the youngins. Like the puppies, they continue to grow up every week, man. And it's a shame that we didn't get to really celebrate them because they got caught in the crossfire of a loss that they had nothing to do with. And that's unfortunate because they played well tonight. Jalen Lane with the big catch, Luke with the touchdown, and he had another catch. I think the other catch he had was nullified by a penalty, but Luke continues to make plays, and it's unfortunate that we're not celebrating those boys. But I'm gonna drop a Lukey baby though.
Lukey baby.
And one time for Jalen, life in the fast lane.
Life in the fast lane.
I love the growth that I'm seeing from them. I do. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and complain about Bobby. You know, Bobby is the quarterback of this defense. He does so much for us defensively. It's easy to blame Bobby for some of the mishaps, but this is our bed, right? We made it this way. We got to lie in it this way. We knew before the season started that Bobby was a liability in certain instances. I keep saying this, and there's no guarantee. It's hard to prevent Bobby from being put in certain situations. I'm just frustrated because at some point you got to find a way to get other guys on the field. You did it last week, and maybe the Bears did a great job of staying out of 12 and 13 personnel, but it felt like they had 2 tight ends on the field at times. And it felt like there were opportunities to get a third linebacker. Like the Chiefs, like I think Chris Collinsworth did a really good job of pointing out last night that the 2 teams that were playing, they keep 3 linebackers on the field. You just gonna have you know it's gonna be some shit, but like Kansas City's not taking their 3 linebackers off the field if they don't have to. And you're gonna give up some stuff, but what I'm not gonna allow you to do is run the football on me because I got extra safety in the game, and now I'm not physical enough in the run game, or I can't do this or I can't do that. Yeah, you might get some little sit that, like you got to play zone if you got the 3rd linebacker in the game. But to just to say, nope, I got 2 all-pro linebackers from last year, and I'm sorry, you can't get on the field because that's bullshit. A job of a defensive coordinator is to find a way to get your best players on the field. And we don't know if Jordan McGee is one of our best players because he won't give us a chance to find out. He won't give us a chance to find out. The cheap, easy, lame excuse is, oh, we got 2 really good players in front of him. He can't get on the field. That's not what good defensive coordinator, that's not what good coordinators do in general. If I got a really good player, I got to find a way to get him on the field. I saw Jordan McGee last week in the backfield making shit happen that we haven't seen any of the other linebackers do. So until you can find me somebody else that can do what Jordan McGee can do, I don't want to hear the excuses. Just find ways to get him on the field. I get it that you don't want to take Bobby off. Then don't take him off the field. Take somebody else off the field. You don't want to take Frankie off. Okay, then don't take Oos off the field. Take somebody else off the field. Why I keep seeing Darnell Savage in the game? Take his ass off the field. I don't need to see 25 out there. Find a way to get him on the field. That's the shit that pisses me off. You keep making excuses. Stop making excuses and find ways to get your best guys on the field. That's my problem. So Ninja X, been a member for 10 months. Really appreciate you, writes. 8 4-pounds of scrimp to ease the pain, not vegan. Here's how I ease the pain. Here's how I ease the pain. Ha, 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 ha. Hey, Scotty. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Hey, Scotty writes, that field goal doink was loud as hell. Yeah, it was. That was the sound of losing. We just didn't know it at the time. That was the sound of losing, Scotty. We just didn't know. 6-7. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Who writes, 5 had this team in the game with an injured Debo, Chris Moore, Lane, and Luke. Very few quarterbacks could win with that and play good. We find y'all need to relax. That's where I am, right? I told you we're still going to win the division. Like, that hasn't changed. Sucks that we lost tonight. It sucked that we lost to Atlanta 2 weeks ago. But with 5, we got a shot every week. We got a shot every week. So should have won tonight. Can't turn it over. Can't win with them. Won't win with them. Can't turn it over. Ryan E. Carbon. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, Witt apology box in the trash. Actually, it's not in the trash. It's turned into the Joe Witt complaint box. Be sure to drop your complaint in the box. 1 week, it's the apology box. The next week, it's the complaint box. I've already read a few ones that said they want him fired. So drop your complaints. We'll read them. Watch his hiring press conference last year. He hasn't delivered on any promise. Ball is death, not life in our defense. Yeah, I mean, when you make statements like he made in his introductory press conference, which we were all excited. It reminds us of Eric Bieniemy He's not Eric Bieniemy, by the way. Let me be clear on that. But Eric Bieniemy said a lot of nothing. Joe Witt didn't say a lot of nothing. We just don't have guys that actively seek. There were opportunities tonight to punch the football out. There were opportunities to pick the football off tonight. We just don't have guys that do that. And that's kind of my issue with some of y'all is that they didn't pick these players. A lot of these players were already here when they got here. And the ones that they did pick, well, like, you can only do but so much. You can only do but so much. So they turned this roster over. They brought a bunch of guys in here, but most of them are one-year deals. Like, again, could they have gone out here and tried to spend a bunch of money? Yeah, but that's not the smart thing to do. They want to build this roster up through the draft, which is why you can't keep giving away draft picks. So, look, not all their draft picks have hit, and you got to ask yourself, at what point do you cut bait with Brandon Coleman? If you can't get a third-round pick to be active, you got to move him. Get a sixth-round pick for him and cut your loss and move on, if that's how you feel about him. Because that's 3 weeks in a row now that this man's been a healthy scratch. We got Andrew Wiley out here getting his ass whooped every week. And not that he was terrible, but when it's pressure, Andrew Wiley is usually at the crux of it. We had a big gain on an RPO, and Andrew Wiley's down the field. Of course, it's Andrew Wiley. I'm not gonna shit on Andrew Wiley, but look, Cosme's about to be back, so we don't have to deal with this much longer. But Coleman can't even be active. If that's the case, then what are we doing? Get something for him. So you got to assume they're going to try to move him at the trade deadline. But when you look around, like, there wasn't a lot that could be done. So we got what we got. We have what we have. And we don't have dogs that take the football away. We could have. They didn't have to draft Quan Martin. They could have drafted Brian Branch. And I know he's being suspended for a game right now, but he takes the football away. He's a dog. He's a demon. Christian Gonzalez could have been on this team, but he's not. That ain't got nothing to do with them. They can only do what they can do, right? Quan Martin was here. Well, he doesn't take the ball away. Don't keep talking to me about what Quan could have had this and Quan. Well, he doesn't. So it is what it is. Like, I'm cool. I get it. I know what Quan is, so I'm not going to trip. I'm disappointed that Mikey didn't catch that pick tonight, because Mikey is one of the few guys that is supposed to take the football away. And that ball was right to him. That was disappointing. But that's not on Joe Witt that Mikey dropped the pick. But it gets charged to his account. I'm more upset at the fact that you don't blitz when you need to blitz, or you don't come with blitzes enough, and you're not playing guys like Jordan McGee and figuring out how do we get some of these other young guys on the field that may be able to give us something that we lack right now, which is more team speed defensively. That's the part that's frustrating to me personally. That's what I'm not upset that we don't force turnovers, because I put that more on the players than I do the scheme or the coordinator. Put that on the players. It's players that force turnovers. It's not the scheme that force turnovers. So that's where I'm frustrated with him at. JD5, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, it's going to be hard to bounce back from this. Only if you let it. Only if you let it. If the team lets this loss bleed into next week, then yep, it's hard to bounce back. We win next week against Dallas, your most hated rival. You'll still be thinking about this loss? Yes or no? It feels like it's going to be hard to bounce back from this because it just happened. Week to week league, as I've said, beat Dallas next week, you'll be singing a different tune. beat Kansas City in 2 weeks, and oh my God, we're back. We'll be in here talking like Mortimer and his brother Randolph Mortimer. We're back. We'll be talking all kinds of crazy. That's the nature of the beast, man. The NFL is like that. Feels bad right now because it just happened and it's fresh. It's a fresh wound. Leno Ryan Benbenite, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, turnovers and poor defensive play lost it. We'll be okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what did us in. As much as I want to kill the defense, they had their opportunity, but they got the one stop, and that should have been enough. Should have been enough. Can't stress that enough. Should have been enough. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Haval, right. Man, we struggle stopping the outside run in the screen game. In fact, 50% of their passing game was gained on just screens. We mostly held Caleb and their tight ends and receivers in check. Past 5 yards, but damn it, the screen game killed us. Again, this felt like last year from a defensive standpoint with what we gave up and, you know, how we didn't get it done in crucial situations. We got hurt by the screen game. The outside runs were a problem. You know, all of that, you know, it wasn't the big plays tonight. It wasn't the big plays. That wasn't what got us tonight. It wasn't the second and longs, all the shit that had ailed us this year. It was the shit that got us last year that got us. The big play. I say we didn't get hurt by the big play. You get the 55-yard run. But that looked like the same one that hurt us against the Bears last year, except that one was an actual run. This one was a pass. But it was the same shit. Even the same sideline that he ran down, basically, before he cut it back over the middle of the field. So, yeah, it was frustrating. Tonight was frustrating. The screen game, they were well-timed screens, though, right? Like, you got to give them credit. Those were really well-run screens. So, really disappointed that we didn't have a better handle on the screen game. But I felt like we really held Caleb in check. Again, the turnovers did us in. We should have won this game. Up 20. You couldn't have convinced me we were going to lose this game up 24-16. I literally thought we were going to win this game going away on some, you know, 31-16 type shit. My mind started to, every time I allow my mind to wander like that. The last time I allowed myself to do that was in 2022 when we played the Vikings, and we had won 3 in a row. And if we had beat the Vikings, we would have had a 4-game win streak, and we had the Eagles next week on a Monday night, I believe it was. Yeah. And so that was when Dax Milne scored the touchdown to put us up. I want to say it was 16-10 or some shit like that. I don't remember what it was. 16-7. It was something like that. I don't even remember the score that we lost that game by. I just know they had a walk-off field goal basically because Captain Insano, John Ridgway, jumped off sides and gave them, or I think he actually had the leveraging penalty, one or the other. These are all sides of leveraging, and gave them the ability to basically run the clock out and kick the walk-off field goal. But we battled like hell in that game. We caught that pass, and my mind started to wander because I felt like we were going to win, and it was going to be 4 straight, and then we ended up losing that game. But that's the last time I did that. And I did it again tonight. And every time I do that, we lose the game. I allowed myself to start thinking 2 in a row, going to Dallas. Here we go. Getting that consistency. And then we blew it. DJ 23. Thank you for being a member for 32 months. When JM starts making kicks, we have a Swift problem. Oh, Jake Moody start making kicks. When Jake Moody, okay, that's a question you were asking. I was like, wait, what? When Jake Moody start making kicks? when he played against us. Of course. We have a Swift problem. We have a big Swift problem. And I'm mad that I didn't bring that up before the game. I should have thought about that because in past years, I have talked about that. I didn't talk about it this year because, shit, we got Jayden Daniels. I don't give a shit about a DeAndre Swift problem. We got Jayden Daniels. And it wouldn't have mattered. It would have been a fleeting thought. It would have been a pass like, yo, man, DeAndre Swift be kicking our ass. But we won the game, so I don't give a shit. But we didn't win the game. So, just like last year, we won the Hail Mary. DeAndre Swift kicked our ass every time. I brought that shit up last year, but we won the game, so nobody cared. It was going to be the same thing, but we didn't win the game, so now it's like, damn, DeAndre Swift always kicks our ass. I'm sick of this shit. Kevin the PRF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Kev, thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, the earlies are in. All right. Appreciate you for sending those in. So, it's a whole heap of these shits. All right, let's get to them then. Let's not delay. Let's get to the proceedings this evening. So, all right. Let's turn it sideways. Let's go one by one. All right. So, Colton Wheeler, stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, you know what to do. Show Colton some love. Welcome him with open arms. Welcome to the squad, Colton Wheeler. Alex Van E. Thank you for stand up. You are the newest member of the MOBB. Mob, show Alex Van E some love. Welcome with open arms. Welcome to the squad, Alex Van E. Crazy Negro. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, top 5 quarterbacks don't fumble in the clutch. Am I wrong? Yeah, you're wrong. Shit happens. It was wet. It's not like it was a regular night and he just, effed the ball up. It was wet. He fumbled the ball. Shit happens, right? Mistakes happen. My hands are slippery, and I got the jelly container in my hand in the kitchen, and that shit slip out of my hand. Shit happens, right? I hate it, but it happens. Lorenzo Simpson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, if Gay makes the first field goal, they need 7. He got to go. Again, he made the 53-yarder after he missed the 50-yarder, so they're not going to get rid of him. That shit sucks, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same. That's just the way it is. Oh, yeah. They ain't getting rid of him. So don't look for changes. People out here in these streets out here looking for changes. You ain't getting them. Just get used to it. In order to make one, he got to miss one when we at home. Hey, we play indoors next week, though. He'll be dynamite next week against Dallas. Stinking bastard. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jay Hunter Lee writes, these Bama sorry, bro. This every other week win crap is for the birds. Mediocre at this point. Mediocre at best this point. I get it. I'm sick of it too, man. I am sick of the every other week narrative. This shit is old. I'm sick of it. I want to win 2 games in a row just like you do. This is unbefitting of a playoff team, right? This is unbefitting of a division champ. But this is our journey. Nobody said this shit was going to be linear, Jay Hunter Lee. I get it. Nobody said this is going to be a straight trajectory path to success, to the division, to everything we want. Nobody said there weren't going to be twists and turns, peaks and valleys, bumps. Nobody said we weren't going to get a flat tire and have to change that shit on the side of the road. Nobody said it was going to be easy. We got 5, though. That means we got a shot every week, Jay Hunter Lee. Take solace in knowing that we got 5. Josh Farish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Joshua Farish writes, everyone, there is no one to blame but ourselves. Blame it on the turnovers and not the kicker. You're not wrong. Again, I don't give a shit what happened in this game. Can't stress this enough. I don't give a shit what happened in this game. Let me repeat myself one more time. I do not give a shiggity what happened in this game. We had the football, 3rd and 1, 3 minutes to go. Bears had just used their first timeout. You get this first down, they're going to call their second timeout, and now they can only stop the clock once and the 2-minute warning. You get one more first down. This game is effectively over. And you fumble. That's not the kicker's fault. I'd love to sit here and tell you that if he would have made, guess what? We blocked a field goal tonight. Shit happens. We both missed a field goal. So, yeah. They had a touchdown negated due to penalty. Shit happens. Don't fumble on the final possession, and we probably win this game. So, yeah, there's that. Trey Fryer. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Trey writes, we need a new kicker. That miss made it closer. Than what it should have been, Lou. Can we get Jordan McGee on the field, please? I know, Trey. That is if there's one thing about Joe Witt right now that has me like pissed off. Like everybody, oh, he stinks. They can't. Most people can't tell you why Joe Witt stinks. They just see that the end result. They can't tell you. They either ain't watching film or they don't know, right? I understand what he's dealing with. I get it. The part that pisses me off is that we refuse to put Jordan McGee on the field. And the excuse of, man, he's just got 2 really good linebackers. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't want to hear that. Okay, don't take them off the field. Take somebody else off the field. Damn it. I want to hear that shit. That's a lame-ass excuse for a team that lacks defensive speed, and you got a guy sitting rotting away on the bench that can absolutely help. And we saw the difference. And it's not like we ain't never seen this shit and we don't really know. We just hoping. We saw this shit last week. And you went right back to not putting him in the game this week. That's the shit that pisses me off. We need speed, man. And why they don't, he said what they want, and they did what they wanted all game. Quan don't want no bump. Yeah, Quan's one of those dudes. He's an enigma. He really is. One week you love him, the next week, like, hey, newsflash, everybody. I've heard people call Quan. We are 2-4 without Quan Martin. You do realize that, right? I don't have to explain to you why. We were singing his praises last week. It's a week-to-week league. I can't tell you this enough. Quan Martin is a solid football player. He's not garbage. He's not trash. He's not all this shit that y'all want to call him. He's a solid football player. Take it for what it's worth. Zaydu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, youngsters played good, but we got in our own way. And that's, I think they're the biggest losers in all of this. They played well enough to have their name, to have their names echoing tonight, for us to really be singing their praises, because they've come along, man, a long way. And unfortunately, because we suck ass, the youngins didn't get the recognition that they deserve tonight. Dynamic Dave, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dynamic Dave writes, or could have just done a jet sweep with Debo on 3rd and 1. There's a lot of things you could have done, but they didn't. And again, I'm not here to second guess the 3rd and 1 call because we don't even know how it would have worked out. I got to go back and watch it to see. It's going to be a painful, film session for the mob, because I bet we're going to go back and we're going to watch. We're going to see a bunch of shit that we're like, and it's going to make you even more mad. But ultimately, if he catches the snap cleanly and hands the shit to Bill, which is what he was going to do, I find it hard to believe that Bill doesn't get 1 yard. But we'll never know because he fumbled the bitch. So, Colin Talk Sports. I imagine Jayden Daniels was ornery at his press conference. He probably conducted himself like a piece of shit, is my guess. Because he already don't like the media. He knows we lost the game because of him, and he's probably didn't want to talk to them. And they probably asked him some dumbass questions. And I imagine that he just operated from a space of, man, yeah, I don't want to do this shit. Y'all leave me the hell alone. Fuck y'all. I just want to go home and sulk. So I can't wait to watch it, to see how he handles it. This is really the first game that we lost where you go, yeah, we lost this one because of you, brother. We should have won it because of you, but we ultimately lost it because of you. I want to see how he deals with it. This is what comes with the territory of being the guy. With great power comes great responsibility. And so this is a part of the job. Adversity hits. I want to see how he bounces back from it. Because this one's tough, right? Colin Talk Sports. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, I'm sick of Joe Witt talk about everything wrong with the defense and saying they're going to fix it, and they never do. Turnovers, communication, tackles, done. You have every right to be frustrated because those are the three things he talked about last week. They had to be better at. They were better against the Chargers. They were back to their usual tricks this week. Missed tackles, communication, turnovers. They still didn't create any. So I get it. Derek B, been a member for 49 months. Celebrate! Who writes, 3 turnovers by our stars. Defense is dog shit. Gay is shit. Wit shit. Yeah, it's a lot of shiggity there. It's a lot of shiggity there. But the 3 turnovers by our stars, to me, is the part that stands out. We can't have our best players turning the football over. Period. End of discussion. Can't have our best players being the reason we don't win. They're the reasons we're supposed to win, not the reason we're supposed to lose. So the defense, shiggity, wit, shiggity, gay, shiggity. You can call all the names. You can call all of them shiggity, all you want. The defense got the stop to get the ball back to the offense. Gay made a 53-yard field goal. He made all his extra points on a nasty night. Everything that needed to be done to set the stage for a victory had been done. Yep, we could sit here and talk about all the things that didn't get done, but the fact of the matter is everything that needed to get done got done. And our best player fumbled the ball. Shit happens. So, yep. Zach Minor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zach Minor writes, Detroit, Eagles, Bears, Swift kicks our ass every time. Every single time. Every single time. If I never see this guy again on the field, it couldn't come soon enough. Crazy Negro, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. We'll be lucky to win 7 games this season, 7-10. This is the same thing you said 2 weeks ago when we lost to Atlanta. So that sounds about right. Or if it wasn't you, it was somebody else. I believe it was you. But that was pretty much the sentiment. Oh, we're gonna win 7 games, okay? And we might win. You might be right. You might be right. I don't see Jayden Daniels allowing us to win 7 games. So we'll see. We got the Giants again. I think we're gonna beat them. We got the Cowboys twice. We'll see. I'm not sure about this. Only one way to find out. Got to play them this week. Got the Eagles twice. Got the Dolphins. Got the Vikings. There's some winnable games on the schedule. We'll see what happens. We're going to beat some teams you probably don't expect us to. You probably didn't expect us to beat the Chargers. Pretty sure you thought we were going to lose that game. I'm pretty sure you think we're going to lose against the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure you think we're going to lose against the Lions. I'm pretty sure you think we're going to lose against Seattle. Probably Denver. We'll see. We'll see. I know I'm going to ride for us. And I'm going to always, and I mean always, all caps, ride for 5. TA, my guy, Thomas Arrington. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, oh, Lou, why on God's green earth are we in shotgun on 3rd and 1 in that weather? Hashtag seen enough gay. Because that's what we do, Thomas. We are a shotgun-based offense. We do not. How many times have you seen us get under center with Jayden this year? Remember last year, we'd get under center every now and again for bootleg purposes with Jayden, for naked boot purposes for Jayden. How many times have you seen Jayden under center this year? By my calculations, and this is just off the top of the dome, I could be wrong. 0 times I've seen Jayden in under center this year. 0. I don't remember a single time Jayden being under center this year. I could be wrong. He could have had 4 snaps this year under center for all I know. I doubt it. They're not going to change who we are on 3rd and 1 because what we do works. If he catches the snap, we probably convert on 3rd and 1. But again, we'll never know. Now will we? Seen enough of gay? I think most of us have. You're not alone in that. I think most of us feel that way. They're not going to do anything with the kicking situation. So I wouldn't overly concern myself with that if I were you as a fan. Focus your energy on something else, like finding us an edge rusher that could come in here and help, because we are as thin as I'm assuming. I'm just going to assume the news on DA is bad and he's going to be put on IR. That's where my mind is. He couldn't finish the game. He tried. We're in trouble, edge rushing wise. Loser, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, sick to my stomach. We are going to come back to this loss at the end of the season. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we lost. And the fact that we did lose this game stings, because it could ultimately be the reason that we missed the postseason, or we miss an opportunity to win the division, or fill in the blank. So, yeah, this one sucks. Ass cheeks, but we move on. Shout out to Kevin, the PRF, for holding the kid down with the early soups. And really appreciate y'all for sending them in. Haval, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Haval writes, all right, can't be all gloom and doom. I got to show lots of love to Luke, man. That kid is growing and getting better and better week in and week out. Shout out to Luke, man.
Lukey, baby.
He is definitely continuing to improve. Again, it sucks that we didn't win, because there would have been so much more love for him and Jalen Lane. And Deron Payne, man, blocked a field goal tonight, man. Him and Javon Kinlaw, man.
Payday Payne.
There should be a lot more love being given out, but when you lose, don't nobody care about that shit. It just falls by the wayside. So, unfortunately, William Lee says Bo was a decoy today, held to 15 yards. I really think that heel is really hampering him. I really truly believe that heel is a bigger issue and deal than I gave it. I know I was dismissive of it. Like, he's fine. The man missed basically all of the week's worth of practice each of the last 2 weeks. He's only practiced each of the last 2 weeks 1 day. And he had the extra day this week. I hope this heel gets better sooner rather than later. Help is on the way, but we still need Debo. And he really wasn't super effective tonight. But again, even with that said, you're 2 first downs away from winning this game. Just don't turn it over a third time and you probably win. So, unfortunately, couldn't do it. Jonathan Adams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jonathan writes, this was a game that we could have won but too many mistakes. Defense playing soft. We need to bounce back. And I think we will. I think we will. It sucks because the opportunities were there, for us to really do some things that could have led to us winning the game, but we didn't get it done. And that's how it is sometimes, man. That's how it is sometimes. This sucks. I'm not going to feel like trash in the morning. This is like my 20th drink today. Or tonight, rather, because this sucks. I'm drinking my sorrows away. To ensure that I don't feel like straight garbage in the morning, let's get a word from one of our sponsors. This is a really good product.
This is LouieTeeNetwork.
Lou does not realize that I just read this super chat. Literally, it's the one I just read. Like, there was nothing in between. There was no grace period between it or nothing. Lou just said, double up. Double up. He doubled up Swaggy P's joint. Shout out to Swaggy P.
Avoid waking up feeling like LouieTeeNetwork by taking Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink, the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut called acetaldehyde. It's a buildup of acetaldehyde, not dehydration, that's to blame for rough days after drinking. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down acetaldehyde. Just remember to make pre-alcohol your first drink of the night. Drink responsibly and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/LouieT to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use LouieT at checkout. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/LouieT and use the code LouieT at checkout for 15% off. So don't wake up feeling like LouieTeeNetwork.
That's my guy. Swaggy tweet.
Don't read it for a third time, Lou. Goddamn,
nope.
bro.
Lou, please. Lou, please.
Have a Z-Biotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink and feel like yourself in the morning.
All right. I'm back. So, trying to tell y'all that Z-Biotics, it's a game changer, man. For nights like this. Either way, whether we won or lost, I knew I was either going to be celebrating or I was going to be drinking my sorrows away. Took a Z-Biotic. I'm going to feel great in the morning. So should you. Go ahead, make the purchase. Anyway, I digress. Moving right along. Leno Ryan Benvenite. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, writes. Sloppy loss. Think the team fights back in Dallas. I do as well. I do as well. Jonathan Adams. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, very sloppy loss. More just to reiterate, Leno Ryan Benvenite. Super sloppy loss. 3 turnovers. You're not going to beat many teams turning it over 3 times and not getting a turnover back in return. He says, where is McGee? We need more 5-man pressures. I would love to, and I'm going to probably go back and just look and see. Maybe I'll even chart it myself. How many times the Commanders rushed 5 in this game? I don't think we did it enough. I really think I'm going to be disappointed at the amount of times that we came after Caleb with 5 guys in this game. And even when we did, I don't think we got close to him. It wasn't our best game rushing. But again, this kind of goes in line with the trend of when we see a half-decent offensive line, we don't get pressure on the quarterback. So, and McGee, that's my biggest gripe with Joe Witt Jr. So many of you are upset with Joe Witt because of this and that. My biggest gripe is we're not playing Jordan McGee. That's my biggest problem. Dennis Rice, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dennis Rice writes, it's going to be scary playing other teams coming off their bye week. Plus, the refs were on our side tonight. This loss makes JD5 better. You don't have to experience this to get better. You don't have to have a 3 turnover night, 2 of which are your fault. The game, losing turnover is on your watch and on your account. You don't need that to be better, but it is an experience he'll learn from. But you don't need this to happen to be better. That said, you're right about the officials. I felt like they did more damage to Chicago than they did to us. And we squandered that opportunity to utilize the officiating being, because most nights we complain about the officials, like, oh man, this was a bad call, and that they took away a touchdown. And that I was like, yeah, I guess I could see it, but really that's probably not the right call, right? Like, I'm still looking for the legal contact. They didn't even call out a number. They just call a legal contact. It's third and 9. Like deep in their own territory. That illegal contact extended that drive, and they ended up getting points out of that thing. So I still don't know who they called it on. It couldn't have been Mikey Savers still. That's who they were saying it was on. He didn't do anything on that play. But the officiating was more so slanted towards us than it was them. And we still found a way to lose the game because we turned it over 3 times. So, yeah. I'm with you on that, Dennis. Spot on. Zaydu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Zaydu, who writes, I'm hoping today's loss pushes us to do the same like last year at the end of the season and go on a streak, but it would be the most Washington thing to happen. You're not wrong. Like, this is what I do know about a Dan Quinn coach team. They're not going to go into the tank. They're not going to just all of a sudden be ass and struggling and this, that, and the third. They're going to continue to fight. They're going to persevere. I expect them to beat Dallas next week. But if you think this is some kind of game, I'm more in the mindset of the Chargers game than I am. I was confident we were going to beat the Bears. Confident that we were going to come home and win against the Bears. And we didn't. Disappointed. I am very disappointed. Now I'm back to questioning, like, can we go on the road and beat Dallas? I expect us to, but this isn't a gimme. I'm not as confident. We always struggle with Dallas. It's family business. Shit doesn't make sense when you're in the division, and us struggling with Dallas, no matter how bad they are, doesn't make sense, but here we are. So that's where I'm at with mine. But as the Giants just showed us, when you got a quarterback that can make a difference, shit changes. Dak has never seen Jayden Daniels before. He's never been in a game with Jay. He's always gotten the benefit. Just like the Giants, and I've said this about the Giants. Giants used to beat us all the time. Why? Because they had the benefit of us have. You saw the list of quarterbacks that we had, that we went over, that the Bears played against over the last, 20, however many years in these 17 matchups. That's the benefit of what Dak Prescott got, and that's what the benefit of the Giants got with our quarterback situation. It was Carson Wentz. It was Taylor Heineke. It was Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul. It was Alex Smith. Like, these are the guys that they were seeing. Sam Howell, right? Now, you're getting Jayden Daniels. So I feel like shit's changing, and you're seeing that anything can happen. That run, I literally said earlier, I wouldn't be shocked. I know it sounds crazy right now because we just lost to Chicago, but I wouldn't be shocked if we won our next 3 games. I don't think that's going to happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if it happened because we got Jayden Daniels. I think we can win every game. I've already said that. So going, like, he's at his best when generally his best is required. He didn't throw an interception in the clutch. It was wet, and the ball got snapped to him, and he mishandled it. So, again, shit happens. Like I said, I'm in my kitchen. I just washed my hands. I didn't dry them well enough. I'm handling the jelly container, and that shit slips out of my hand. Like, shit happens, bro. What more can I say? I don't know what else to say. Chris Hunter, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chris Hunter writes, defense played like we were not ready to take the throne. Silver lining, we played without Terry in the clutch. Let's see what it's like when he gets back up to speed. I just think the offense, the one thing that has me super optimistic, the one thing is that if this is a big if with the way this season has gone, but if we can get everybody healthy on offense, we will have a dynamic offense that will be hard to stop every week. Because instead of throwing to Chris Moore in clutch situations, you're throwing to Terry McLaurin. Instead of throwing to Deebo Samuel as your number one target, he's your number two. Instead of throwing to Jalen Lane or Luke McCaffrey, not that they've, not gotten it done, but instead of throwing to those guys, you're throwing to Noah Brown. And I would prefer, like, that double move that Jalen Lane ran tonight, I would prefer it be him than Noah Brown. I don't want that to be Noah Brown. Noah Brown's not cooking anybody on a double move. Give me Jalen Lane instead. But I just like the fact that we have that versatility now. And we'll get better players out there. And all of a sudden, this offense could be really dynamic, man. It could be really dynamic. We had explosive plays tonight, y'all. We had explosives. And we ruined it with this loss. There was so much good that happened tonight that we could have been sitting here lauding and praising, and instead we're bitching and moaning and complaining because we didn't get the shit done. We had explosives tonight, man. Jayden threw 3 touchdown passes tonight. He had 4 going into the game. He threw 3 tonight. And instead we're bitching about turnovers and losing the game because we didn't get the shit done. It's frustrating. And this feels a lot like Atlanta. I said this to y'all before the game. I said, this game is a lot like Atlanta in the sense that if we can just get through this game, just like Atlanta, if we could just get through the Atlanta game, Jayden is going to be back next game. If we could just get through this game, help is arriving. Cosme's coming back. Noah's coming back. Possibly Terry's coming back. If we could just get through this game. And we blew it. Red Mist 04. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, hey, Lou, I'm not saying right now this isn't a playoff team. If we make it, we won't win a game. Again, you can't say that. Yeah, you can't say that. Can't say that. Nyron, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, want to rescind what I said about Joe Witt Jr. 3 turnovers, not ideal. I mean, he could have been better, but ultimately you turn it over 3 times, you don't produce a turnover. I mean, it's hard to win any game doing that. And again, I can't stress this enough. And defense got the stop that they needed to get, up 24-22. They got the ball back to the unit that we wanted to have it to put the game away. And then they gave the game away. So, I mean, I get it, but I'm going to continue to state the thing that nobody wants to say, which is the defense got the stop it needed to get to help try to preserve the victory. They did their part. They should have been done for the night. They did their job, and they should have been done for the night. They should have been able to take their helmets off and watch the rest of the game, and this game should have ended in victory formation with knees being taken, and instead the offense pissed it away and gave it back to the Bears. So as much as I want to crush the defense, and sure, it would have been nice for them to come on. You know what this defense is about. Don't play yourself. They got the stop they were supposed to get. You can't ask them to do it again. Should be happy they did it once. Pro Wrestling Archivist. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? So I guess we have to do a rivalry beef with the Bears now after all, huh? Shaking my head. Nah, we don't. Like, a rivalry can't be one-sided. They won, so yeah, like I don't have any beef to cook for them. Like, I don't have any animosity towards the Bears. I feel nothing other than emptiness because we let a game slip away, not because we lost to the Bears. I don't have anything for them. They're not my rivalry. They're not a rival for me. I don't see them as, they're not an equal. In order for a team to be a rival for you, they either got to be in your division or they got to be seen as an equal. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning were seen as rivals. Why? Because they were equals. They were two of the best in the game at the time. So when those teams met, you felt like it was best against best. I don't see the Bears as an equal. I don't. The two quarterbacks are not equal. One is superior to the other. That it just is what it is. It's not a rivalry for me. So, I mean, I know they don't want to hear that, and maybe some of y'all don't want to hear it, but I'm done. We don't see the Bears unless we make the playoffs and they make the playoffs, and we won't see them again this year. I'm done with them. I really wanted to beat them so we could just move on. But unless we play them again next year, somehow we both finish in the same spot, because clearly we're not going to be playing the AFC North again next year. We're playing that entire division this year. So if we don't finish in the same spot, and I have no intentions of doing anything other than winning the NFC East this year. That is still the goal. That is still my aspirations. That is still my expectations. The Bears are not winning the NFC North this year. They're not doing that. They're just a half game out of first place, though, so you can't tell them they're not. But they're not better than Green Bay. They're not better than Detroit. They're not winning that division. Again, until Caleb Williams beats an NFC North team, how can they win the division? They're already 0-2 in the division. Can't win the division with a losing record in the division. So I have aspirations, plans, and expectations of winning the division. The Bears can't say the same. So we probably won't play them next year. So for me, no, there's no rivalry, but to each its own. Eddie B, my guy, Eddie Behringer. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Thank you for the super chat who writes, I'm still riding. Hell yeah. I hate this feeling and it hurts because our expectations are realistic. Let's bounce back. That's the part that sucks, is that with every loss, a bit of that bravado and all of the warm and fuzzies gets chipped away. And people lose that swag and that feeling of, nah, we like that. We still like that because we got 5. There's aspects of our team that are not like that. And so that does take away from some of the bravado and some of the, say it with your chest. But we still could have won tonight with 3 turnovers. And all the mistakes we made, we lost by 1 point. Let that sink in. We played like horse shit against Green Bay. We lost by 9. And I get it. We scored a garbage time touchdown. Like that game, that was a 1 touchdown game in the fourth quarter, people. For as poorly as we played, it was 17-10. Are you kidding me? If the defense would have, and again, I get it. If you're asking the defense to do something that they're not fully equipped to do, but the defense would have gotten a stop. Who knows what would have happened in that game? Well, they didn't, so we'll never know. But ultimately, we are what our record says we are. We're 3-3. Jayden Daniels missed 2 games. One of those games we lost probably because he didn't play. But here we are, 3-3. A lot of football ahead of us. Take it one at a time. The Cowboys are up on the schedule next. Let's find a way to bounce back and get a win, right? You want to win the division? Keep winning divisional games. It sucks we keep losing NFC games. You keep winning in the division, you will set yourself up to win this division, because guess what? The Eagles are they're 1-1 in the division. You beat Dallas, you are 2-0 in the division. That's what matters the most. Keep finding ways to beat teams in the division. We'll win some of these games outside of the division. Because Eagles going to lose more games. Like these people that think, oh, the Eagles are too talented not to figure this out. Bullshit. They got some real internal issues. I don't know if they're figuring this shit out or not. Keep winning games in the division. Bubble Jacket Assassin. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, are we slow defensively for the season or can something be done? Yeah. No, we're slow for the entirety of this season. You can't do anything. What are you going to do? There's not a bunch of wildly athletic guys on other teams' practice squads that you can just go and pluck. If they were good players, they'd be on the team's active roster. And there aren't any good veteran players just sitting on the street waiting for a phone call right now. So no, you are what you are right now. And this is who we have, and this is what we got. And there's not a bunch of guys on, that are injured right now that are coming back. Everybody that's injured for the most part that could have an impact on it, they're out for the season. Javonte John Baptiste probably gone for the season. Dietrich Wise definitely gone for the season. Like these guys aren't coming back to save us. Dorrance will be back at some point, but I think he's going to be placed on IR when it's all said and done. That's going to be a massive blow to this defense. ABJ's Wise and Strong. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I was in attendance at the game. Weak start, promising middle. The energy we gave, even with the Bears fans, was electric. We deserved much better ending. You guys did. Let me say this. And I was going to bring this up early if we won. I wasn't in a laughing, joking mood, so that shit didn't resonate. But our fans have to be among the worst at following directions. They did the pan shot around. This wasn't a blackout. And I got to also slap the team on the wrist. That's a no-no. You're going to do the blackout thing and you want to, encourage. Then you got to paint the field black. You got to really lean into it. The logo in the middle of the field needs to be black. The end zones need to be black. Like, you really got to lean into this shit. The Denver Broncos don't put on their Orange Crush uniforms and then just have regular Denver Broncos end zones. No, they paint the Orange Crush end zones and they put the Orange Crush logo with the horse, with the Bronco, up in the air with the light. Because you got to go all the way. You can't half-ass it. And you half-ass the field, and then you ask everybody to show up in black, and 2/3 of the fans in the stands got on burgundy and white and all kinds of bullshit. And I'm looking around the stadium as they pan. I'm like, y'all didn't get the effing memo? You don't got to wear your Stephen Davis jersey from 1998 because you're a Redskins fan. You don't got to wear your old-ass Donovan McNabb jersey. You don't got to wear your Sean Taylor jersey because you're going to a Redskins game. Put on a black effing T-shirt if you don't have a black jersey, bro. It's a blackout. God damn. Follow directions. Anyway. Shit was ridiculous. I'm looking around the stadium like, this is not what they asked you to do. I saw the Bills do this on Sunday Night Football. Everybody had on white. Hell, the Giants last year when they played Dallas had their old 1980s Super Bowl Giants on the helmet, throwbacks on, or maybe it was 2 years ago when Saquon was still there. Whatever. They had a whiteout on a Thursday night. I think it was 2 years ago. Everybody wore white because they know how to follow goddamn directions. The Packers just had their winter uniforms on. The all whites, they wore white. Our guys show up and it's burgundy. It's all kinds of stupid ass colors. Put black on. Shit. SRT Slush 6.4. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. All right, bro. I just called off work because this shit, Lou. I'm sick, man. No doom and gloom, though. On the Dallas, hashtag HTTC. P.S. Can Gabe play edge rusher? Hashtag shout out to Gabe. Oh, man. Yeah. This one stings, man. This one sucks. You don't need – hey, don't quit making money because of this shit, though. Yeah, this sucks. Don't call out of work, bro. Don't make your money, man. Don't let this team drain you to the point where you using up, essential vacation days and sick hours and, sick days. Like, don't let this team do you like that, bro. Not for a week 6 game, at least. Okay? After the NFC Championship game, if you like, I need a day. I get it. I would totally understand. Not for week 6, bro. Go to work. No, Gabe can't play edge rusher, unfortunately. But we do need help. We holding tree outs on Tuesday. Shit, is it today's Tuesday, right? Tree outs today for edge rushers. ABJ's wise and strong. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Oh, and Chris Moore. Where did he come from? I asked the same question to the mob. I was like, yo, who is this guy and where did he come from? Because this is not Chris Moore. And then as soon as I gave him a compliment after the touchdown, what'd he do? Drop a pass on what? I think it was third down. Might have been a second down, but right through his damn hands. There go Chris Moore. I think it was second down. There go Chris Moore back to his old tricks. Knew it was too good to be true. He caught the touchdown. He was like, snatched the hood. Noah Brown. We were like, wait a minute. This isn't. Then we put the mask back on, and it was really Chris Moore. He dropped the ball right through his hands. Chris Moore. He tried to fool us. It's still Chris Moore, bro. Tony P56. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Oh my God, are the Bears better than us? Took Hail Mary last year. Bro, we dominated the game last year. Stop, Tony P56. Stop it. Are they better than us? They won the game tonight. I mean, if your way of qualifying if a team is better or not is that they win, then yeah, they're better than us. You watched the game. What do you think? You think the Bears team that played tonight against the Commanders is better? You tell me. That's not for me to decide. That's for you to decide. I know how I feel. And I know that you know that I know that you know how I feel. Spence Calise. Been a member for 38 months. Salute. If ball is life, then we have no life. Stop fumbling. We've been on life support for a very long time. We need a breathing machine to keep us alive. So none of this is something that should be surprising to any of you. Ball hasn't been life since they got here. Can't turn it over, though, and compound matters. Again, it's one thing to not take it away. It's another thing to give it away. Can't do both. WW, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, Quan got me watching Caleb Downs. I'm done with him. I got to chill on Quan, man. Yeah, I think y'all just expecting way more from him than you should. You can win football games with Quan Martin as your starting safety. Y'all got to act like Quan Martin's Quan Martin isn't Bakari Rambo. Like, y'all got to stop treating him like again, we do this, not we, y'all do this thing as fans where y'all go to one end of the spectrum or the other. Like, Quan Martin wasn't terrible tonight. He missed a tackle. Those happen. It was wet outside. What would have been nice is if his teammate would have actually been hustling on the play And then you wouldn't be making a big deal out of this because then Marshawn would have been there to push him out of bounds or at worst tackle him maybe 12 to 15 yards further down the field, and it wouldn't have turned into a touchdown. But Marshawn just said, oh, yeah, Quan got it. Stop running. Then Quan don't got it. Then he tried to run over there. It's too late now. So, and then, yeah, could he have caught that pick? Sure, that would have been nice. Yeah, a quarterback throws into double coverage. The really good safeties, the ball hawking ones, they make you pay for that. You don't get this one back, bro. But that's not Quan Martin. But he was there because guess what Darnell Savage did? Fell on the goddamn ground without touching anybody, even though he was in great position. So if Quan wasn't there, this shit would have been a catch. Because Darnell Savage, who was in tremendous position to make a play on the ball, fell on the goddamn ground like Kendall Fuller 3 years ago against the damn Eagles. When it was thrown into double coverage. And Smitty went up and got it. So you can sit here and talk shit about Quan. It would have been a completion if he wasn't there. He isn't what you want him to be, and he will probably never be what you want him to be, but you can win football games with Quan Martin at safety. And we're not going to suck enough to get Caleb down, so don't waste your time watching him. He's a top 10 pick. We're not finishing with a top 10 pick record. So you can save yourself the man hours. Save yourself. What are you doing? First of all, we're in week 6 of a season. Don't start watching film and all that shit. But Mark Beretta, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I know it was early, but JD's pick really changed the game for me. If he hits a touchdown, we set the tone and win. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Like, that was an opportunity. The receiver was wide ass open. Debo was open. He was late to getting the ball there, and then he threw it flat-footed and right to Jaquan Brisker. And so, again, shit happens. He was due for an interception. He hadn't thrown one all year. So I hate it. I hate it, but find me a quarterback this year who hasn't thrown a pick, that's played, a bunch of snaps and has a bunch of attempts passing. Like, you're going to throw a pick, man. Them shits happen, bro. I hate it, but it's how it's got to be. That's how it's got to be. Jonathan Adams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Read this one already, but I really appreciate you. Rocky D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Rocky D writes, could be worse. Could be the team up I-95 Ravens. Not to, compare ourselves to another team or to lift ourselves up at the expense of another team, but we could be 1-5. We could be the Ravens with no hope. Cheers to that. But we're not. So, cheers to that. Jonathan Adams, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, we need to stop having slow starts, and where's McGee on 5-man pressures? That's the thing that really bothers me with Joe Witt. And I already know what he's going to say. Hey, you got 2 really good linebackers. Then that means you're not a good defensive coordinator then. If you can't find a way to get him on the field, and your response to getting a guy that adds, physicality, toughness, speed, because I can tell you right now, Darnell Savage don't add them things to he adds speed, but he don't add toughness and physicality to the run game and to the perimeter. He's not a great blitzer. He blitzed tonight and didn't get, he got a piece of Caleb. He didn't get him down on the ground, but neither did, in his defense, neither did Jordan McGee last week, but it led to a sack that he got there. Whatever. Bottom line is, find a way to get him on the field. I don't want to. I'm not a big excuses guy. If you can't tell already, I don't want to hear. Talk to me about solutions, not the problem. Right? We know what the problem is. I got 2 all-pro linebackers from last year on the field, quarterback of the defense, and another guy that's a big-time playmaker for you. Can't take him off the field. Okay, cool. Get it. What's the solution? That's what I'm about. The slow starts. I wish I had an antidote for you, man. we don't know how to get off to fast starts. We just don't know how to do it. We just don't know how to do it. Had a great opportunity to do it tonight, and we blew it with the interception. Robert Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Robert writes, we were 12-5 last year, and in my mind, we still have 2-game buffer, and it's week 6 until we lose 6 or more games. I won't say we worse than last year. No, I mean, you can't say that yet. You don't know. We could go on a ridiculous run and win 10 straight. Who's to say? Probably not going to happen, obviously, with the way we play football. But you just don't know. You just don't know. And the fact that you have Jayden Daniels, can't say that it won't happen, because I've told you, I think we can win every game because we got 5. We can win every game. Ronald Smith, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ronald Smith says, we lost 12 players from last year, 22% and an OC. I don't get your comment. And an OC. I don't get it. Brandon Cox, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Brandon Cox writes, Lou, this was a tough loss. Indeed it was. Happy for Luke, Zach, and your boy Morris TD. That ain't my boy. But I was happy for him, but that ain't my boy. Turnovers killed us. We cannot turn the ball over 3 times and expect to win the game. Facts. Tough 4 games ahead. Ride it. Ride or die. HTTC. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. Tough 4 games, but you can't look at it like that, Brandon. You got to look at it one game at a time. Cowboys are up next. Can't play the 4 games down the road thing. Find a way to beat Dallas, and then we'll talk about the next opponent after that, Kansas City, and then we'll talk about the next opponent after that, Seattle, and then we'll talk about the next opponent after that, Detroit. Really tough stretch. But one at a time. Can't win 4 in a row without winning 1 first. Can't win 3 in a row without winning 1 first. Can't win 2 in a row, which we know this season, without winning 1 first. So let's take it one at a time. Hey, Scotty. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Scotty writes, the Cardiac Commanders ride again. And that would have been really fitting, Scotty. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. If we would have won the game, it would have felt so much better. Talking about the Cardiac Commanders, because that was definitely closer than it needed to be, but we didn't win, so you don't even get the warm and fuzzies that come with winning this game. So we're still the Cardiac Commanders. But you know what's crazy this year is our wins have all been double-digit victories, right? Giants, Raiders, Chargers. It's the losses that have been close, and even the 3 losses, Falcons game was over when they got the ball and drove down the field. We weren't really like, you needed to stop. You didn't get it. They kicked the field goal. The game was over. This was the one that stung, obviously. And in the Packers game, they went down, scored a touchdown. That game was over, basically. So, we really haven't been in a bunch of close games this year, to be honest. The whole Cardiac Commanders thing hasn't really come to fruition this year. This was the first one where you were like, here we go. So I guess I see what you're saying from that perspective. They were trying to take us out tonight, but we much rather would have walked away with a dub. Then it would have been fine, you know? But losing in this way just, oh my God, I hate it here. It sucks. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Yoshi writes, I ain't gonna lie, I was trolling on that Jayden message. You see, I didn't respond to that shit. I just kept it pushing. Like, bro, I've been doing this for too long. I ain't got time. I'm too old for that shit. But in all seriousness, his read option game is bad. We know that. We talked about that in the past. That's not a strong suit of his game. Like, the only good runs he gets is when he's under pressure. That's an issue. It's not an issue. Like, read option is a part of the game. It's not a huge part of what we do. A lot of times he gives it, give it. And when he keeps it, it's not a good keep. And they weren't good keeps tonight, right? But who cares? Like, if that's your biggest complaint on Jayden, the hell are you complaining about? If your biggest complaint of your star quarterback is he doesn't read the read option well, great. I'm glad that's your best complaint. You ain't got shit. That's like going and the police telling you, hey, we got a case on you, right? The detective's saying we got a case on you, and they pull up on you, and you like, this is all the evidence you got? You ain't got shit, bro. What you wasting my time for, man? Get me out of here. They ain't got shit. If the best you got is he doesn't read the read option well, what are we talking about, bro? The man was dotting the Bears up all night. When pocket breaks down or where he doesn't like what he sees, he takes off. That's a huge part of his game. And the best you got is if the read option reads aren't great. Okay. That's 2-3 times a game. Okay. It's not a huge issue. It's not a huge issue at all. Mari, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Mari writes, what's good, Lou? I was at the game. That fumble had 80K people go silent instantly and ready to get Terry and Noah back while receivers getting no separation. That 80K was like everybody at home watching around the world that had their heart drop to the bottom of their foot, to the soles of their feet. That fumble happened, and I was stunned. Because I went from when the Bears called the timeout, I typed in the comment section, big boy football right here. 3rd and 1, big boy football right here, in all caps. Let's get this first down. They some busters. Some big boy football right now. And then we went and did that stupid bullshit. And I went from all brolic, all caps to, and all I could type was, wow, we really finna lose this game. Because we all knew the defense wasn't getting a stop after that. They had gotten they one stop. They like, yo, shit, we did what we were supposed to do. Don't ask us to do this shit again now. Well, shit happens. I can't wait to get those receivers back too. I know that the separation isn't great, but again, much like I said against the Falcons, we still didn't need to lose the game because of it. You know, still could have won the game. This one more so than the Falcons game because the defense was just atrocious in that game. You weren't winning that game unless Jayden was out there and we were able to score more points, which could have happened. But this game, you didn't need all of that. You just don't turn it over on the last possession and you probably win 24-22. Even with all the other shit that transpired, still win 24-22. Miggy, thank you for the super chat. They appreciate you. Who writes, Lou, shaking my head. Ops are targeting B-Wags and coverage. It's ugly. You're not wrong. I've already advocated for them to not put him in those positions, but here's the thing. When do you know it's not that? Like, when do you know that this play isn't going to involve him being in coverage? And Joe Witt has said, well, we try our best to, blitz him, but can't do that every play. So, again, my response to that is, we know the problem. What's your solution? Your solution can't be, well, we're just going to have to, Bobby's got to take a better angle. Like, Bobby's 35 years old, bro. I don't give a shit what angle he takes. If Bobby's not already running with a head start, he can't keep up with a receiver coming on a shallow cross. So how do we stop Bobby from being, and that's the problem. In there lies the problem, is that if the defense is smart, you will call a play that is going to find a way to target Bobby Wagner in coverage. And you don't know what our call is defensively. He could just be guarding an area where he's not, particularly responsible for this or that. But if they catch us in some sort of man match, which is what that play was against Olamide Zaccheaus, it was a man match where his job, once that guy runs into it, is to match him. Now that's his guy. Oh my God. We're in trouble. That's the last super chat. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this forgettable night. This one stings, guys, but we got to move on. All right. The good thing about this one is it's already Tuesday. This one's going to sting, and you kind of let it fester a bit today, and then tomorrow, Wednesday, you got to move on. It's Dallas week. It's officially Dallas week. So you don't have a lot of time to dwell. That's the good thing. The bad news is we got more injuries, most notably Dorrance Armstrong. Debo clearly isn't 100%, but it might be a while before he gets to that point. We get another week next week where you get an extra day. So this week's short week, next week's a long week. So you take advantage of it. And this week sucks because not only is it a short week, but you also have to hit the road. At least next week, you play on Sunday night. It's on the road, which sucks. But then you come home and you got a home game. So you don't have to travel. You got to travel on the front end because you got to leave after that game. You're probably not going to get home until Tuesday morning, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So that sucks. But you don't have to travel on the back end. You're at home against Seattle. So 3-3. We did this to ourselves. Nobody else to blame. Bears got it done. 25-24. You got to tip your cap to them. They found a way to get it done. But this one sucks. It really does. Anyway, I digress. You guys get out of here. Have a good one. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Can't believe we 3-3, man. This shit is stupid. Peace.